I'm going to be. Oh, if they do it, you're gonna rage because you've been playing with all those guardians. Yeah, to tell you the truth, man, I don't know what they're gonna announce. This is gonna be a surprise for me too. So we'll see. Okay, everything's full blast, dude. They only learn by we only learn by doing. That's right, UK Paul. I'm a tank main at heart. Hey, that's good, man. Because you'd be surprised how many people play Guardians and then they play, damage Guardians and they're like paper armor and they're worthless as a tank. So it's always good to have a good tank, man. Never hurts. Never hurts. Glanswitch with the dark blue. What's that? The 3 month? And Ice has the 3 month. That's awesome, dude. Where are we starting to see? I cannot believe where we're starting to see the dark blue badges, dude. It's just, golly, time just flies, son. It feels like it was just yesterday we started these memberships. And boom,
Hello,
man.
Everybody,
Okay, here we go.
Welcome to the 9.8 Smite update show. We have so much to talk about today. We have a new god. We have an Odyssey event, balance, so many things to go over. But first, we have a very special announcement for you. Check out this video.
All right. And there goes my frickin' I'm gonna get a copyright hit on this music. I'm so gonna. Oh, you gotta be kidding me!
Right.
So I moved from the
Hashtag
DFW,
fans.
and then they moved this
So
crap to
excited to
Arlington.
tell y'all
I just
about
moved
this,
away
and
from there last year.
It's happening, as you saw in the video. Arlington,
Golly,
Texas. We are
son, you gotta be kidding me.
Extremely excited for this event. There will be more information coming soon, so keep your eyes out. But
Dude,
we
that's
just
literally
couldn't wait.
45 minutes
We
from
had
my
to tell
last
y'all as
house.
soon as we could.
That is
So
crazy. I used to
look
live
forward to it.
in Keller in
Besides
Dallas
that,
Fort
let's
Worth.
get into the patch show. There's a lot coming with
Such
9.8,
garbage,
and I'm excited
son.
to start talking about it with the two people that I'm joined with today. You know them, you love them, Aggro and AJ. How are y'all doing?
Doing really well now that the news is out about Worlds with Fans. It's actually the week before my birthday, and so if you wanted to get me a birthday present, get a ticket and come to the Smite World Championship. That's the present you should get for me.
Definitely, and make sure
Wonder
to
if
wear
I
a
can
bow as
move
well so
this
that he knows,
chat
who all did that. But
to
I
hear
mean,
or
I'm
mess
just
with
so
anything.
excited for this. It's my first time being able to really partake in something like this, and
No, I
it's
better
just
not
gonna be
mess
huge.
with it.
I'm so ready for it. I hope y'all are as well.
I've missed you all so much. I remember my first World Championship when nobody knew who I was, and I was just standing behind the playtest booth watching people test Amaterasu.
Ice Texas for life right here.
And then,
Dude, I
the
can't
next few
believe it,
years,
dude.
Just having so many people wanting to ask
I
questions.
just moved from there last year, and then they go down there to like 45 minutes from my old house. That's crazy,
almost
son.
share a birthday. We're just a few days apart.
So it's for
In
both
fact, my
of us.
wife
come to our joint
graduated from
Yeah.
Arlington for
Probably
UNT
that's what
in Arlington. It's crazy.
Well, super cool. So let's get right into it then. We have some balance to start with. Looks like we're going into some game mode balance and duel changes. Looks like a few things are happening in the duel category. What's going on there?
This is a big one.
Or whatever the heck that
we haven't really
that
done too much for
university
duel
is up
recently.
there.
We wanted to change that. The non-conquest balance as a feature brought up a lot of discussions about this.
Yeah.
Overall,
You guys hear okay?
Duel is a very unique game mode. So generally the difficulty in balancing for Duel is that Duel doesn't really follow the rules of any other mode in Smite.
No.
None of the things that are normally good are good in Duel,
Awesome,
and
awesome.
things that are generally unplayed are very good in Duel, and it's very
Yeah.
interesting, very unique, all at an age of its own. So we have a couple changes here today
San Marcos.
that we think are going to create quite a bit of excitement in the Duel community, and if not, at least a much-needed shakeup.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we're
boo,
gonna be very open
Conquest.
to tracking this in the future and potentially making some more changes. But the first announcements, we have 3 big changes coming to this game. But the first one that's very exciting is that Duel will now exclusively use the Jade Corruption map. So traditional Joust will continue to use, and Ranked Joust will continue to use the Season 3 Chinese Joust map, but Duel will now be played on the Jade Corruption map. Now that might sound strange to some people. They go, Jade Corruption map, that one's more camps, more things, it's a little bit bigger. Why is it better for Duel? Well, we did take some time before this patch, reach out to some Duel mains, some Duel creators, run through the options with them, and a lot of them preferred that map. I think the additional camps allow for some additional skill expression. They give you more options. The Joust play on that map led to, I feel like, I don't know, it led to less action. Joust players seem to really just like that core 3v3. Who's going to hit their abilities best? Who's going to wombo combo the best? That's how it's going to go.
Right.
Duel is not as much about just 1v1 on her basic attacking people for who has the better accuracy. It's a lot more than that.
Yeah, it's a lot about macro.
Yeah.
So people like that in Duel to have a little bit more space, a little bit more options. So we are changing to that map. That comes with another
Zeus
exciting
nerf coming?
change, which says
Better
that now
not
we
be,
have
man.
more
Don't tell me
freedom
that.
to adjust the item set and banned item set in Duel.
Hey,
So
you know Smite's making money because look at their mics. They finally upgraded their mics. Those are $400 mics. Those are sure
Those items were
SM7Bs.
designed for team
So
play and
two
conquest
guys
on bigger
have
maps.
two
Throughout
SM7Bs, and that guy
the
has
last
some
2 seasons, there's
crappy
been always,
hand
like
mic.
one starter item that is just
So
the go-to.
you're looking
Duel,
at
the
$500
must-have.
per rig
It's caused a lot of
between the
problems
two
for that
guys on the
community,
left. So you know Smite's
instead
making
of
money now. They
killing them
finally
one at a
upgraded from that
time
those
until we
lapel
found,
mics
like,
that
the
were
one
garbage.
That was medium enough for not to care. We're just going to head take all of them out of the rotation. So you're just going to be going, tier 2 Transcendence or
Trust
I
me,
wouldn't say
I
the
know
Boots Rush,
what
but
I'm
that's not
talking
a thing
about.
anymore. So you're going to have to find some new ways to start, tiny trinket and potions and who knows, right?
Yeah.
So Duel's going to have all new item starts, which is very exciting.
That'll shake it up a lot. That's super exciting.
And then one last change, which is that now the non-conquest balance is actually going to be a slight misnomer because it's just not going to apply to Duel. Duel is going to continue to use conquest balance. Really, non-conquest balance tends to create buffs and nerfs for gods that play very well in like big, constant 5v5 skirmishes because that's all the other non-conquest modes.
Basically,
Right.
And that is philosophically the
I like the
opposite of
background.
Duel.
You see
So
how they
applying
have Bellona's
non-conquest
sword
balance
and
to Duel was
Hoyi's
rarely
bow
going to
out back
line
in the
up.
background.
We initially thought we might be able to target
pretty cool.
specific gods for Duel and have like, less impact on the other modes, but it really just makes more sense, I think, to just keep them on the conquest balance. So it will be now non-conquest and
Yeah, and not.
Yeah, Duel's in its
Really?
own little bubble. I mean, I think that the big thing here is that
I
all
guess
of the
you
other
can't
non-conquest
unclick on
modes,
Twitch
except for Joust,
commercials.
which is 3v3, but it's still team fight oriented. It's still constant team fighting in a group.
Yeah.
That's where we see like the difference between a god's win rate in assault versus clash. Probably not going to be that
Dude, does this
different,
crap
but
close out or what?
something like Duel is going to
Frickin'
differ very heavily.
spam?
So I think that's why it makes sense to exclude Duel from the non-conquest
There you
modes
go.
and keep it in its own little Duel bubble.
Yeah,
So,
makes sense to me.
very exciting changes for Duel. If you don't play Duel, that's okay, but I would encourage you to go watch some. It's
Yeah.
more of a spectator
So-
sport, honestly. It's
It
really
really
fun
is.
to watch. We have a lot of very dedicated creators
Duel.
in that space, so
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll be hyping it up. And their likes or dislikes about these changes as we learn through the new meta
I
will be a very
think
fun journey to go
Helm's
through.
Axe,
Oh, yeah.
to be
Always
honest,
with the
Him
feedback.
Delirious,
We're always looking
you
at
know
those
what? It
things
does
and
have the
feel like,
horns,
wow,
so you think
man,
you're
no
right.
starters.
You can
That's
see the
horrible.
goat head with
Well,
the
listen,
horns.
We'll hear that. So super
So it
cool.
might
Looks
be
like
Him
Joust
Delirious
has
Axe.
one small change as well coming up in this update.
Right, this comes as a side effect of these
Yeah.
map and mode changes items is we will now be able to re-enable all starter items on Joust. So previously a couple were banned. I believe it was Benevolence and Death's Toll.
Yeah.
Because they were being abused in Duel. Those items,
Dude, we don't
maps
care about
now
Duel.
different
Let's go.
maps Can now have different
Get to
item
good
pools.
stuff.
Yeah.
And so
definitely.
Joust is actually getting
Get to
a bit
good
of a meta
stuff.
change here too. So perhaps we see some hunters or some guardians come back into the meta in there.
Yeah, love getting to shake the tree like that. That's super awesome. So it looks like we're getting into items now. That's all the game mode map type stuff. And
Yeah,
we're
always
kind of
forget
starting
Him
off on a
Delirious
hot
exists.
topic here.
Him
We're
Delirious is
starting
actually
off
pretty
on the
pretty
earring
strong,
tree.
dude.
We're touching quite a few of them, starting with Sphinx's Bauble. But do y'all want to talk about the earrings first up? They've kind of
here we
still
go.
new on the
Here we go.
Battleground, really, with having just showed up in midseason.
Yeah, I think that overall, I mean, we knew that this was going to be a journey
Decrease
for
physical
the
power
earrings.
from 55 to 45.
Messed around
Decrease
with
magical power from
them
80
in
to
bonus
70.
balance and things like that, but I think
This
that we
item no
wanted to
longer has
release
any
them
damage output
in the
debuff.
way that we did to make sure that we knew
Still
what type
has
of
healing
effects it would have.
decrease.
You know, we had a lot of internal feedback sessions with content creators and pros,
This
and
item no-
there was a lot of
now
back and forth, and
decreases
that
for
kind of
magical
led
physical
to where we
protections.
ended up. And we've heard the feedback now that our players want these to be powerful effects that they can feel good buying. So they're now going to be
Yeah, Him
powerful
Delirious
effects
all
that
cracks
you can
me up, dude.
feel
Every time I
good
use it, I can't
buying.
help
And
but
starting
say,
with Sphinx's
yeet.
Bauble, this one is the one that was the most topic of conversation, of course, right
Yeah.
after it was released. And so this one is a little bit more of a shift where
check
the
that
others are
out.
getting straight out buffs.
So
but
the
really focusing
Shure
Bauble
SM7B,
on
right? The
being
mic
a
that he's using,
mage-centric
on the bottom it
item.
says
Now that
Shure,
we
right?
aren't at the
They actually
60%
took a
cooldown,
sticker that says
increase
high
anymore,
res, so they
still
wouldn't
only going to
advertise
50%.
for Shure, the company,
Making sure
and
that
stick it on the
feels
bottom
good
of the
on
mic. Look at
mages,
that.
So removing
cheesy,
that
dude.
damage
So freaking
reduction,
cheesy.
and instead adding
Maybe I should get me a
protection
sticker and
reduction.
put my
So
logo on the side of
de-incentivizes
my
you
mic, man.
from going it on Guardians, because we felt felt like the abuse cases were mostly these high CC guardians or high survivability
Hey, I guess it's
guardians,
advertising, right?
Everyone
you can't hate on them.
doesn't like getting their
free
kill dropped
advertisement.
because Geb shielded them. What if he's dropping 3 in a fight all of a sudden? And that's where we really felt like the majority of frustration cases will come in. We anticipate this item will be good, as we do with basically all of these. We expect these to be pretty strong.
That's a nerf 60%
That's what
cooldown.
that's what we're going
Thanks,
for.
which I saw
We want them to
coming.
be strong.
Yeah.
This one we're taking the safest route with.
Yes.
Item now decreases your
I don't
magic
think
and
it's
physical.
necessarily gonna
See, I'm gonna have to
de-incentivize
read
supports
this
buying it, but it's
once they
certainly
put out
gonna come with
the
a larger
notes,
cost.
man. Because
Yes.
sometimes I read this
But it's
stuff and it
also
just
gonna be a
doesn't
little bit
click.
better
I gotta
for
read it a
this
couple
is
times
very
and
much
actually
a
think
shift.
about it.
Yep.
All of these pretty much are shifts, but generally with a
I
bit
no
of a
longer
buff,
has
a
any
buff
damage
leaning
output debuff.
philosophy. So,
I
overall,
don't
we
remember
wanna keep
having a
this at
debuff when we
50%
used it.
cooldown
Tell you the
reduction.
truth, I
Felt
was
like
so
that's a good spot.
fixated on the cooldown.
60% just a little too dangerous, but we needed to minimize the downsides of that. So, as Edgar said, no more damage penalty, instead just a protection penalty. So if you buy this on a mage, the downside will be almost negligible.
Yeah.
If you haven't bought any other protection items, then it would be like 7 protections or something you'd be losing.
Yeah.
Now supports, they might feel that a little bit more. However,
I haven't known it has any damage
lots of
output.
protections, they do
Oh,
get a little
snap.
less effective. So losing a
So
little
using this,
50%
your
off the top
damage
might
is
not
not
actually be that bad.
it's not
Could be very
nerfed
viable on
anymore.
some of those more backline mages,
Oh,
like,
dang, the light
Doja,
just came
Geb,
on.
and
Ding
stuff like
ding.
that can afford to avoid some damage directly. So overall, we're trying to look at all these items, make
This
them a little
item
bit
now
easier to fit the
decreases
build,
your
a little bit more
magic and
applicable,
physical
and just stronger in
protections
general.
though by
So
15%.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
certainly
Dude,
viable
on
on
Zeus,
supports,
who
but
cares?
it'll be a more noticeable drawback than it was.
Yeah.
losing
As long as it still
Two
gives you
assassins,
that
no
cooldown
drawback
reduction,
for
dude.
supports.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
That's
On a
huge,
mage,
dude.
to an
That's gonna
assassin,
give
7 procs
freaking
isn't gonna
Zeus
change
back
and
his
kill you
damage.
instantly if you misplay. It's
No.
all about watching yourself.
I'm gonna have to check that out, man. I'm
The
gonna
next
have to check
earring
that
getting
out.
touched is actually Griffin Wing, another one that I'm a really big fan of. So what changes are coming down the line for Griffin Wing?
This one's real simple. Just adding some magical power and completely removing the damage debuff. We heard the feedback that this was an item that felt good, but was very hard to fit into builds because you have to do so
that
much
item
in
was
order to
garbage,
actually
dude. I tried it
offset
on
that.
a couple of
and we
gods.
did see
It
some
just didn't work
gods
well,
that
man.
that it did make sense on. I played a lot of Gibelonke.
Now the fact that it
with
doesn't have a
Griffin Wing and
damage
getting to
debuff
snipe people
anymore,
with my
dude, that
long-range
could be
autos felt
huge.
really good.
To tell you the
But
truth,
now
especially on the
we still feel
Himdallr,
like
because
this item
Himdallr's
does have a trade-off.
attacks
in the
seem a little
sense
bit
that
slow to me.
It doesn't have any prot shred or
I'm gonna have to try that on
on-hit effects
Himdallr.
or anything
Yeah.
like that. It is purely stats and helping you hit your basic attacks a little
Yeah.
bit. So
Himdallr,
with
like
that,
I said,
we
his
feel like we
lobs
could
are really,
go ahead
really
and
slow.
remove
They
this,
do a lot of
this
damage,
debuff
but
and
it's
see
just
how it
really
lands.
slow.
The feedback generally was that the passive was a little weak. So the off,
Yeah,
the
I
downside
agree.
didn't make sense to people.
I agree,
because it seemed like they're
Dalen.
offsetting it. I'm interested to see if that opinion changes all once people box
Agreed.
against
Yeah.
someone with this item a little bit more.
Yep.
That 40%, it's already moving pretty fast. So 40%.
Dude, those are
fast,
some
might
pretty
be
big
still perceived to be
buffs for
fast,
arena, man.
But
The
it
Sphinx's
really
bubble
does give
and
you an
this
advantage in
Griffin's
those boxing matches. It-
Yeah.
Agreed.
wing
and
earrings. Those are
improving
some
your
pretty good
accuracy,
buffs,
even
man.
for the most skilled hunters, can
I don't
be
know about.
very
I don't care
valuable
about the other
passive.
modes,
So
but for
we really
arena, it
just
looks
wanted to
like
give
so
people
far
a
it looks
chance
pretty
to
good.
Experience that. I think it's going to feel powerful in this state.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It's a more powerful passive than I think most people give it credit for.
I'm
We will find out.
We will, yeah. We'll see. Y'all will tell us for sure. And I'm excited to see it hit the ground. So next up, Rose Spike Earrings. Looks like some stat changes going on there a little bit.
Yeah, rose spiked earrings in this whole tree of Manicore spikes and Fablest hoops are all getting a little bit of a
Increase
stat
health from
readjustment,
200 to
along
250,
with some
remove
buff that you'll see
15
in a minute to their
25
passives.
magical
course.
protections.
We just felt like these items, they're really cheap. We went with this health identity because both of
really-
these item
I really
passives
never
care
used
about
that.
your health.
Yeah.
But strictly buying
Any of you
health
guys used
just
that before?
wasn't
I
going
really
to
don't
end up
use it.
putting these in a competitive enough space. So we're adding a little bit of magical
Starts
protection to the
chanting,
rose spiked.
"Give me
You'll see
a
that
rat
as well on
buff."
both Manticore Spike and Fablest hoops.
This is
Excellent.
the tier 2, by the way.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yep.
the one
So
building
the whole
into.
side of this tree is essentially being reworked.
So
to
this is
have
tier
protection.
2 for that
Yep.
uh,
From
So
the-
it will
from the
fit
front.
Manicore,
much more
whatever
naturally
spike
into
or whatever.
traditional support.
I don't know.
modes.
Okay, and how does that build into Fablest and Manticores? Is there more going
Yep,
into those?
it was. for
Yes,
Manicore.
Fablest is really getting its identity, just like we did with Bobble, where
Yeah.
we made it a little bit more clear who is supposed to be buying this. This is really best
See,
on mages, but doable
He's
on
so
other classes.
used to talking
Now,
on his lapel
with
mic
Fablest,
that he's
it is
talking
clearly
too loud for that
supposed
mic.
to be best on these
He shouldn't be
frontliners.
talk- he's like yelling into
the
that mic,
Guan
dude. They
Yus,
need
the
to- they need to
Sylvanas,
turn
those
it down.
feel
It's a little
really,
hot.
really good with Fablest hoops. But if
those-
you're a Hell, if you're an Aphrodite who decides they want it, it still feels really good
Yeah.
in that moment. So
Got
it's
it.
not about
I do the same
only
thing
these
sometimes,
gods can
especially
buy
when I
it.
move
It's
from
about
this mic from my
trying
other
to
mic.
leverage,
Sometimes I
to
talk too loud. I'm just,
incentivize
like, yelling, dude.
these gods to pick these up and make them fit a little bit more cleanly in their builds.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
I don't think we expect Mage mage healer supports to become meta because of this, but I did want to give them an item that allows them to flex more into that in the casual spaces and your pre-mades.
And then
where
he
you try
has Mike
something a
too
little
far
bit more
away.
fun.
Yeah.
So Fey Blessed Hoops getting a shift to lose the HP 5 and gain 50 health,
I
10
don't think
CDR,
a lot of
and
players
60
are
magical
using
protection,
these
which is
earrings
a
because they'd
pretty
be
good trade.
Oh, yeah.
overall.
A lot of people
Yeah, I'd
weren't
take
using
that.
them
So generally,
because
there was also
they
just the thought
just
that these two
were
both Fey Blessed
underwhelming,
and Manticore
dude.
felt a
I mean, they
little
were garbage.
understaffed.
But now
So
that they took
that
away
is
those
going to attempt it to
those
be
nerfs, dude, that
Yeah.
could be pretty
and we still think that
significant, man.
the
Pretty
passive
significant indeed.
for Fey Blessed in particular
For Zeus and
is
Nox right there,
still strong
my
when applied.
brain's already
This is still a
turning,
new
dude.
gameplay loop
Because
that
even with
requires a little bit
Zeus
of time
using that
to adjust
20,
and get
even with the
used to.
20%
get those
damage,
pickups.
But
nerf,
now I
I
think
was
that
still
as
doing
we
over
see more Fey
50,000
Blessed,
damage,
we can
so I
better
can't
determine.
imagine now
Okay,
without
is
having
the
any
passive
nerf.
actually doing enough?
So this
Is
should be
this
very
feeling good
interesting.
enough? It just felt like the stats were keeping it from being bought enough to really make a determination on the passive strength.
Yeah, so those additional stats will really help push to that T3, get more
And
people
like I
on the
said,
item,
that
get more
Griffin's earring
feedback on
sounds
the item.
very,
and
very
continue to grow
interesting
in that
for
direction.
Hindler.
Yep.
Because
So is that
Hindler
the
has
same
the
thing going into
slowest
Manticore Spike
freaking
now? Is that kind of the
projectiles
same
in the
idea?
game
A
for
little
any
bit.
hunter.
This one is more regular Guardian focused.
Okay,
You know,
of
it doesn't
course, yeah.
it doesn't
Not the
require you to be a
healer
healer.
aspect,
You know,
yeah.
it's just how much hard CC do you have and how easily can you apply it to multiple
it.
people. So
I bet you
again,
that's probably
removing
good on
HP5 in order to
Bacchus.
make room for some additional stats, as well as the CCR on Manticore Spike. So you're losing the HP5 and CCR.
Oh, crap, they
You're gaining
removed-
40 of each protection.
Wow.
So,
That's a solid chunk.
Yeah, it's a
again,
chunk.
a trade-off that we think most support players will be happy to make.
That
You
might
can
be
get your
good on
HP5 and
Bacchus,
CCR
man.
elsewhere pretty
Or it
easily.
might also be
and
good
then
on
for Manticore Spike,
Xing
we
Shang,
did receive
too.
enough
When
feedback
he-
for
'cause
us
he
to
has
feel
a hard
comfortable
CC.
buffing this passive. It felt like
Yeah.
this passive
I'm gonna have
wasn't
to test
dealing
that out.
quite enough, as well as fixing a couple of interactions with it. So we're increasing the duration of
Use
the
them on
self buff
Ymir?
by 10 seconds, so pretty
Did they work
significantly.
well for you?
And increasing
think
the
a lot of
damage
player-
dealt
or-
from 3% to 4%, and then of course that doubles if you are the owner of Manticore Spike.
Yeah.
And
The
the best
juice
news
like
of all
that.
of
The
this,
best.
by my estimation,
Yeah.
it's now a separate yellow damage number. So you can very clearly see
Oh, did you
exactly.
get that in this update?
We got that in.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was going to
Increased
be next
damage
update.
dealt
Pretty sure
from
we got it in this
3%
one.
to
Hope not. Or
4%.
well, if it isn't,
We
then
might have
it's
to
next
double
one.
check that
Yeah,
one.
then you'll know it's
We might have to
coming.
double check that one. We will continue.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to do more
check,
testing
but,
with those,
but
dude. I haven't
that
really
is in the
used
works.
them
If it's
that
not
much.
in this
Now,
one,
I
then
did
it means we
use
can
the
get it done soon.
healing
Exactly.
one, I think,
duration
on
of the
Sylvanas
pickup here
build,
was also
and it seemed to
noticeably
work pretty
different
good.
from Fey Blessed
Yep.
because of the application
one that drops
of
those
it.
little
Like this
shields?
does not necessarily give you a bonus right away. We want you to be able to position around these deployables,
Yeah.
pick them up when you want, and really make sure you can use make sure you can use the passive.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Whereas the Fey Blessed, you get the shield immediately. This, you still have to hit someone.
Yeah.
So we wanted that to increase its
that
chance.
shield
it's
one
not
works
only getting
very
more,
well on
damage, it's
Sylvanas
also
because
gonna be
Sylvanas
more
is always
likely to
healing,
connect,
right?
which I
With
think
his
is
AoE
actually
heal,
a
it
really
works
big
out really,
component of
really
this.
well.
Yes,
yeah,
it
for
is still
sure.
much, much better in playtests for sure.
Well, cool. Excited to hear about that. Excited to see it happen. So next up, we're getting into a lot of mage items, it looks like. We have a whole list of mage item changes, starting with what looks like a triple of different cost decreases. So Divine Ruin,
Okay.
Spear of the Mages, Spear of Desolation, all getting cost
Oh,
decreases.
snap.
Triples are best.
That's true.
As you know, Harrison.
That's true.
Triples
We
are
do
the
know.
Safest.
Right, of
Yeah,
course.
okay.
Yeah. So in the safe triple, I mean, what's going on? Why the fire sale?
Yeah, we've just seen a lot of, Smite Masters just completed. We still see all the beach decorations right behind the cameras here.
I'll
and
take it.
We saw some mages
Oh,
feel pretty
yes.
good, but they weren't going for a whole lot of early pen
Dude,
options. It was
God.
really
Our mage
Warlock
build,
staff
our
dominating
complete
that
mage
first item
builds were
slot.
just shown
And we
in
started to
this in the
see,
last
Bombos
segment.
and Cobb start
My
to be
whole
good, and as soon as
practically my
AMC
whole
starts to be
Zeus and
good,
Nox
a lot of
build was
hunters start
just shown
creeping
right
in
now.
order to match his pressure. And usually that's
Holy
indicative
crap,
that
dude.
early mage clear
Yeah.
and fight capability
Triple
is not
cost
quite high
reduction,
enough. And
dude. Oh,
typically
yeah,
that's
dude.
because
My
their
whole
flat pen
freaking
options aren't
Zeus
quite as
and
good
my
as
whole
those
freaking
of
Nox
someone like
build just
AMC.
got
So
a
Divine
blue
Ruin,
light
Spear of the
special,
Maggots, and
man.
Spear
They
of
just got
Desolation all
Black
receiving
Friday.
just 100 gold off their cost.
That's what's up, man.
Mage builds in particular are typically more expensive.
What that means is you're gonna be
than
able to
every
build
other
a lot
class.
faster.
They pack a lot of power,
So-
especially as they scale into
oh,
the late
good
game.
goodness,
But
dude.
we felt like with the pick rate of
you
these
know what?
options and
Maybe
how
they're just
effective
trying to-
they are, especially
They might be
after
trying to
the
pattern the blow, right?
Time to
Because
kill
when we get to
update
the
where
gods, if
everyone
he
got a little bit
nerfs Zeus
tankier.
and Nox,
We
I'm
didn't want to
gonna
necessarily
have
increase
a
the pen
fit.
because we know how volatile
I'm
that
gonna
can
lose
be.
my
So we want
mind.
to see how just decreasing
He's
the
just
cost and
padding
making
the
these a
bad
little
news
bit
right now.
more
Yeah,
accessible
we buffed
earlier
your
in the
items,
laning phase is good.
but yeah, we kicked
We are
Zeus
going to be
in the
giving
nuts.
mages some power elsewhere.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
That's
It
what I'm
looks
waiting
like
for.
it looks like we're moving into kind of the world of the Rod of Tahuti. So we have all kinds of things. There's power increases for both Rod and
Oh,
Calamitous
snap.
Rod, and then Perfected Rod gets just a little more than that. So let's go through the first two and the power increases.
See, I
Why
told
is
y'all.
Rod getting all the love?
I told
A
you,
lot
Rod
of the same
Tahuti was
reasoning that,
worthless
Aggro
at
just went through
3,600
here.
gold
So
at
this
the
was just an
at the
item that,
damage
you
it
know, it should
had,
be the
but
premier
increasing it
damaging
like
item
that,
for
dude,
mages.
that's
It's been
pretty.
a little little bit undertuned lately.
Enticing, man.
With the
That's
new
definitely
glyphs
pretty
and some,
enticing,
skittishness
especially
around the
having
power
those
in the
other
game,
items being
it came
cheaper.
down, so we're just
That means
bringing
you
it
can
back up.
build
I think
this
it's
a lot
gonna be
faster.
in a lot better place.
That is
Yeah,
very interesting,
Perfected
dude.
Rod
Very
is
interesting.
the new glyph.
The shiny season 7 or
Right,
mid-season.
from mid-season,
update
yeah.
7.
And similar thoughts on this as a couple of the
Dude,
other
I
buffs
might have
today.
to
Just
incorporate
didn't
Rock
quite have
Cthulhu
the
back
impact
into
that we were
some
hoping
builds.
for in its initial launch. So
Yeah.
looking to give it some extra, utility. Really, it's more of the utility version of the rod as opposed
Who
to
doesn't
the
want more money?
damaging one.
just the
So you're
raw.
going to get this ability is going to actually be able to affect your ultimate
Those-
cooldown
was that
as
Geico
well,
commercial
and it's
or
going to be able to proc more often.
I remember the commercial.
So
See
if
that all
you're
the
going to
time.
be able to lean into this
Income mage
cooldown
nerfs.
option,
Yeah.
we want you to be able to go all in on
Increase
it.
magical
Yeah.
power.
Maybe
See, I'm
throw a
telling you,
bobble in there, get some really
they're trying to
crazy
pat
low
us.
cooldowns.
Yeah,
They're
never
trying
know.
to
We'll
hype
see.
us up.
Yeah.
You never
You
know.
won't
And
get
then they're going to come
60%
back. They're
from bobble, but you
dazzling
might
us with this hand,
you might
and then
get
they're
close
just going to
between
go
stacking items like this
with
and
the right
corresponding
hand.
other things
Watch.
along
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah,
You
very
really
I'm
layer
waiting.
it.
Another important reason to why we kept bobble at 50%.
Yes.
This is
The
too good to
reality
be
is,
true
as well,
right now,
with
baby.
Perfected
This
Rod
is
of
way-
Tahuti
this is
and
way too
Calamitous
good to
Rod of
be
Tahuti,
true right
These
now.
are effectively 3,600 gold items.
Expensive.
You have to, and it just didn't feel like Perfected Rod in particular was worth 3,600 gold.
Hell no,
Yeah,
it
so
wasn't.
hopefully
That's
this
what I
is
was saying that when they came
Glad
out.
to
I
hear
was
it.
like,
Well,
at
it looks
that
like the
price,
last
it
one
was
here is
garbage.
Polynomicon, just getting some decreased passive, kind of. The cooldown, the internal cooldown of it.
Yeah, we had a lot of back and forth on
Ooh,
Polynomicon.
snap,
what to do with this
dude,
one.
that's what's
This
up.
is one of, I mean, every mage player loves to play
I have to
with
change the
Polynomicon.
new wall build
buff.
video.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got
As a treat.
nah, dude, I'm
Yeah,
not changing that new wall
just
video
getting
because
a
you know
little
why?
bit
Because all the
more,
items
more
I use,
often,
they
I
just
think is
talked
gonna
about. They
make
just
it
buffed it, so they
feel
just
a lot
made it even
better
that much
without
better.
necessarily.
In fact, I even think
completely
I have
overshadowing
Polynomicon
other
in it
typical
too.
mage options.
Got it.
But Poly is a lot of
Ooh,
effective
yeah,
damage
baby.
you can add to your kit.
Everything I use
in a
in
way
new wall builds they're
other
talking
items
about.
can't
That's
really
what's
match.
up.
So
Went
with
it's
a
even
little bit of a
cheaper. It's even
smaller end
better now.
buff for an item that we haven't seen a whole lot recently.
Cool. Well, sounds
Good
good.
stuff.
That kind of does it for the mage area. Moving into physical items you can bonk people with. Starting with Boomba's hammer. Looks like that's getting some changes as well.
This
Yeah,
item's
kind of in the
passive
same
effect
vein
can
as
now
Perfected Rod of
affect
Tahuti.
ultimate
Now
ability
being able
cooldowns
to
again.
proc
Oh,
on your
nice.
ultimate ability once
Very
again.
nice.
Ooh, yeah.
Keep in mind that this is after a change to bring that proc time from 1 second off of your cooldowns to half a second off
yeah.
of your cooldown. So
I like using that on
once we
Bacchus.
went,
It works
we
really
tried a
well
lot of
with
things with this
Bacchus.
item. It continued to be very, very
In
strong.
fact, I even used that on my Loki
It
build.
wasn't until we removed it from ultimates and then
worked
also
really well in the
put
Loki
it to
build, too.
0.5 seconds that everyone
Among
was
other
like,
nerfs.
among
Yeah,
other
among
nerfs,
other.
it was like, oh, okay, now it's a little bit too far, and we recognize that. And so now we're giving it a little bit of the strength back. With it only being 0.5 seconds, feels like much safer to allow it to affect your ultimate cooldown.
Yeah.
And hopefully it can go, it was at the top of the meta.
Oh, I just
to
noticed.
absolutely no
Do you
play
see the
rate,
balloon on the
hoping
on the
for
table? I
little
just
goldie
noticed it
wires.
right
right
now.
back in
I
the
wonder what
middle
the
there.
crap that was. It's balloon with your
Cool.
shield.
Well, next up, Yotan's
That's
hammer.
pretty cool.
Yotan's coming. Yotan's is just getting the love as well, and it's just a lot of physical power
Yotan's rad.
increases, just bringing that physical power back into the battleground.
Yes, so since the 9.5
That's
update,
pretty
which
good.
there has been quite a few meta shifts from
pretty
that.
good.
True.
In general, the goal was to nerf burst, so the characters that
Yeah.
rely the most on burst,
Give
being these
John
traditional
Drath
mages, which we got some
another
buffs in
5.
today, and
We'll
the
take it. We'll take it.
ability-based assassins
Booma's hammer was top
started to
tier
falter.
meta in
The
Conquest.
basic attack-focused assassins
previous
are in the
nerf
prime
was
of
to
their
kill them.
lives right now.
Yeah,
Living
dude.
it up.
I don't know why
So,
they did
If
that.
you're a Kali or Mercury main, you're out there shredding it. But we
It's
wanted
like
to
as
give
soon as
the other
something's
assassins
good, they nerf
some
it.
chances to catch up. So what we're doing here is just small power adjustments across the entire mace tree. So that's going to be across Jotun's Wrath and both of its
Yeah, I
glyphs,
started-
as well as Brawlers, Crusher, and then so all of those getting power and then
Oh, wow.
finishing it off with Titan's
Oh,
Bane, which is
wow.
getting some slightly different buffs, but still some buffs. So
Nice.
this tree that really is just the
Nice.
assassin's
That's
core
what I'm talking
items.
about, baby.
Small power buffs
Nice.
across the board, which in many cases you're building more than one of these, so that's going to
I
stack
like
up.
what I'm seeing.
And then
I like what
Titan's
I'm
Bane,
seeing. They're
which
definitely
is,
going to
fallen
hit
off as
mages
your,
hard somehow.
percent pen
I'm telling
option.
you.
So trying to get this to better compete with the other percent pen options
Look
available
at
to
that.
assassins with a cost decrease and
The cooldown
a
by
lower
2
cooldown on
seconds.
the
I
passive,
just
making sure it's
incorporated
proc
this
more
into a
often.
bunch of my
Titan's
builds
Bane's
too.
good. People should buy this item now.
Yeah,
Our
it's
builds are
good.
looking
Back
pretty
up side
nice
is
right
really
about now,
We as the
baby.
design team believe that
Our
it is
builds are
under,
looking really nice right about now.
Yep.
Underutilized even.
Sometimes people don't believe us when we say
That's
that.
awesome.
But try it.
True. Yeah, might
Yeah,
as well
mages
try it
and
out. What's
probably
worst
a
that can happen?
bunch
You
of Guardians
lose a
gonna
game.
be
Unless you're
hit.
playing
We'll
against
see,
me,
man.
then you'll win either way. Don't worry about it. So next up, avoiding that, Shadow Steel Shuriken. Looks like it's getting some changes as well. well.
Yeah, so we kind of have a bunch of healing adjustments here.
These might look strange, but there is a reason for them.
We're
Yeah,
working
exactly.
on it. We'll get there.
We're going to go through a bunch of healing items here.
Increase
we recently
attack
did a
speed from
change,
20 to
I believe that
25.
was in
Decrease healing
mid-season
default
to,
duration from 10 seconds to
adjust
5
the
seconds.
time
Dude, that's
at
pretty
which
sweet,
not
dude. Another
brawling
5%
debuff
on that.
applies
I've
to
been
you
using
and
that
how
too.
long anti-heal applies to you. So that
I
you
really
didn't
don't care about the
overlap.
anti-heal.
we hit the most common things.
Because usually when I use that,
everyone
it's
felt
at the
pretty good
end,
about it. Felt
and after
fair,
about
didn't
2 or
feel
3
like
hits,
healers are all
they're
of a sudden
dead
gonna take
anyway.
off.
So
And so now we feel pretty safe
I
to
usually
go
can
ahead
kill somebody in
and
less than
make
5
this
seconds or
uniform,
or
across
have to
the game.
disengage. So
Shadow Steel
5 seconds is not that
Shuriken,
bad.
for some of the items that feel a little bit underwhelming, we're pairing these with buffs in order to compensate.
Which is all of these.
Yeah, which is all of these, right? Because these
I
were
feel
the
there is
least
a
purchased anti-heal
disturbance
options,
in the-
which is why they
in the
weren't in the first
patch.
pass. So Shadow Steel Shuriken gets a little
I'm
bit of
telling
attack
you,
speed,
dude,
trading off to match that duration.
Things are looking a little too
Tainted
good to
Steel,
be true
Tainted
right
Breastplate,
now,
and
dude.
Tainted
I'm
Amulet,
expecting to get
all
hit with
getting the
something
exact
crazy.
same
You
treatment,
watch.
going from their durations down to 5 seconds, and getting a couple of buffs. Tainted Steel
I
starter
think
gets
something-
cost
I think-
decrease. Tainted Breastplate gets a little bit of physical protection, and Tainted Amulet
Be
gets a little bit
prepared
of
for the
natural
kick
protection.
in the yup.
All in that same
Exactly.
vein of these are the under-purchased anti-heal options. Now it's more consistent across the game.
Yeah.
What's up, squirrel?
But they could use a little bit of help anyways, and we're giving it to it.
Yeah, one of those where this was going to happen as the natural progression of what happened in midseason, but these items also they're not really showing out, so giving them that extra little bit of spice to help it make it look like, oh, this isn't just a crazy buff or nerf to all these items that were already
Yeah, I
kind
can feel the god
So-
nerfs
Yeah, a lot of
already.
shifts,
Yeah,
a
that's
lot
what
of
I'm waiting
shifts.
on.
Lot of
dude.
shifts.
I'm
Yeah,
saying
very
this stuff
shifty.
is a
Yeah,
little
shifty
too good to be
update.
true
Sure
right
is.
now.
But
makes
all right,
no
so next
sense.
up, we have masks. Now, masks also got a lot of attention in the midseason update, so what's going on with them, starting with Rangdas?
Yeah, both of these definitely getting a little bit of adjustment. I think that we're pretty happy with how they feel overall in comparison
And I'm
to
screwed
before
now since they
midseason,
buffed those
and
items. Yeah,
that they
dude.
just need a little bit of tuning in order to kind of hone in on that. Rangda's getting a pretty important bug fix that is now checking for
But see, this is gonna
power
help,
from
'cause
items.
mages, a
passive,
lot of
so
mages
things like
were very
transcendence,
weak
yeah,
early
counting
game.
towards
This is gonna help
your
a ton,
power
dude. A
stacks.
ton.
That's going to make a big difference. But we also got a lot of feedback that the physical power requirement was simply that a little bit power less.
Yeah, my bad, dude. I had to turn off my
10
noise
power per
canceling.
stack.
Yeah.
You want to get to 5
Make sure
stacks.
I wasn't yelling at you
We
guys.
feel like this is going to put it in a much more fair area for you to be able to reach it without having to totally commit your build. Not even just, you're still going to need to commit to damage items, which is
Yeah.
what we want.
Exactly.
But you don't have to commit to sorting by highest power, and I don't care if my character doesn't use Erendite that well. I need it because it's 75
Dude,
power.
that's
you know?
pretty significant,
We wanted to
too.
make sure that you can build 5 power items normally and reach it. That was really the goal. And this,
Got it.
in conjunction with the bug fix, in conjunction with
Dude, that's
the
pretty
buffs
good.
to all the
That's
maces,
That's
I think
50%
you're gonna be able
less
to reach it much more
power.
Awesome. Yeah, good to hear too, because it's one of those items that it's fun to pick up an item, but when that item then
yeah.
dictates that you don't really get to choose a build, I can see why it'd be hard. So that'll help a lot.
Yep.
So Lono's Mask too. A lot going on here, a lot of text. What's going on with Lono's Mask? Kind of the same deal?
Yeah, very much the same deal. Just trying
Okay.
to reach your protection requirement a little bit more easily.
Got it.
And again, checking for stacks from items and item passives and all that kind of stuff.
I've seen
You're
a
also
lot
getting
of
a little bit
people
of a
start
preview
using
here
this
for
mask.
changes that all support items are
Yeah.
going to be going through, which is this GP5, and we
I
can
saw
talk about that
somebody
more in a moment. But
using this
just
smack,
making
was it
sure
a
that
Gonzo or something?
these
Somebody,
feel
I can't remember
attainable
who it was.
Yeah.
without
But
being
the same
too
character
easy to
kept
get.
on
You know,
using
if
those
it's-
masks
if you can
in
just
a lot of pub
splash
groups
3 protection items
some
and get
reason.
enough stacks, that's going to lead to some abuse cases. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on this, and Rangdas, to make sure that we feel like the trade-off that you're having to make in your build
Got it.
is appropriate for how strong these starter upgrades are. Because Rangda's Mask and Lono's Mask, stat-wise, feel like some of, if not the most powerful starter items in the game.
We're trying to
Almost
avoid
like
the
six
best of both world scenarios, where you can essentially
Yeah.
build very tanky and very damaged, and use this item to kind of edge out even more stats. So we were a little bit overly cautious with it on the launch, as seems to be a theme. But now going a little bit more powerful, still think we'll be in a good place. But I do expect to see these items a good bit more.
Yeah.
Yep. Me too.
These are pretty important shifts, and I think we'll be safe away from that totally high power and high tank situation. But I think we'll definitely see more of these, and they have a lot of potential.
Yeah, well, as we approach Halloween, masks more and more common. So definitely good to keep an eye on those, and we'll definitely hear y'all's feedback on it. So next up, we're moving into kind of a starter chunk. I choked between support and starter. Moving into
They're both right.
Yeah, they are both right. A support starter chunk of items, starting with kind of a big shift to a handful of them that we have kind of touched on before, if you want to get into that.
So all of the
Signals
upgrades for
embrace,
support
boom.
items, including Lono's Mask,
Animosity.
will be now upgraded at level 15 again.
Yep.
We tried to do this in mid-season.
7
We
items.
found some potential abuse cases
This
with
sounds
people
promising,
skipping
yeah.
starters and
Yeah.
going 5x.
Yeah, because some of these
benevolence and
items,
stuff
you
for the
got to
GP5.
wait to
So
level
we
20.
have
Hell, by the
implemented
time you're level
2 big
20, the
changes
game's
today. One
over
is
in like
the
in 1
bring all
minute,
the
2
level
minutes
15s
afterwards.
back.
You
So
know what
that'll
I'm
be
saying?
Sentinels
That's
and
why
Brave
a lot of
Sentinels,
people
Boon,
ask me
Compassion,
why I
and
never
Mossy,
use
Warband,
starter
Spartan
items,
Flag,
and that's the
Lotus
reason
Knights,
why,
all
dude. By the
upgradable
time I
at
got
level
my
15. A
build
lot of stuff for supports in this.
done
7.
at level
Between the
20,
earring
the game
buffs,
was over in like in
the,
2 minutes afterwards. So it wasn't
mask
really
changes, which
beneficial
are
in arena. You know what I'm saying?
non-traditional support,
Now,
as well as the,
Conquest and some
all
of those
these
other
being
modes that
upgraded
take like
early.
45 minutes to play, I can
However,
see. But
now
for arena,
all
a
of
lot of
them,
those starter
all of the ones that
items
generate
didn't make
gold,
no
which
sense.
is pretty much all of them, are also going to have an additional qualifier on that gold gain that states you must be the lowest gold total player on your team.
Can't
to get.
upgrade
Yeah.
sands
So
of
these items will
time
no
until-
longer
yeah,
be
exactly. You know what I'm saying?
advisable to buy
I started
in
using
multiples.
Pendulum of the Ages, but
There's also
even
some
that,
additional
dude. I mean,
protections,
it's
like with Compassion we
I'm
have
gonna
the
take
gold,
it
the
off my
GP5
Nox
now
build.
also
I don't
applies.
like it
We've
on my
also
Nox
made
build
an
at all.
adjustment to the passive where
It's okay on
having
Cuckoo
2
and Zeus,
Compassions in
but
the area
I
will
do
not
not
have
like it on
any
my Nox
additional
build.
effect. You used to be able to stack those, so
Yeah.
effectively you're rerouting damage to
That's
aggro,
why I'm
and then
glad I
I'm
didn't post
rerouting
that
from
build
him to
in a
me and
video.
mitigating it again, and that was quite powerful, and that was
Yeah.
that was the main concern.
Our
when we
stream
launched this
yesterday
in
was
the
driving me
mid-season. So
insane not having my
removing
cooldown,
that
dude.
ability as well. So these items should be significantly stronger for all traditional supports, and
Got it.
hopefully the more negative experience cases will be significantly decreased in their likelihood.
Nice.
Got it.
Yeah, you got to have the lowest gold on your
Let me
team.
auto
You know, you
build
still get all the other
Pendulum of
stats
the
from
Ages.
these items.
of
If
course.
for some reason you are not the
Interesting.
lowest gold on your team, it's just kind of like flicking the switch on the GP5 meter. You
Yeah.
know? If I've got the lowest, turn it on. As soon as I jump above someone else, turn it down. So
What you can
let me
do
farm my
is go
mid waves
into whatever
alone, and
god
that way
you're trying
you
to
can get
build
your
it.
GP5.
Clear
Excellent.
it
So you're
Gold
telling-
per
and
5,
save
then
it,
even
right?
the
So
Boon,
everything's
which, you know,
blank,
this one might come
exit
as a bit
out,
of a
go
surprise
back in,
because Boon
and
wasn't
then
really
try it
being
again
abused
to
this
do your
way,
build
but
and see if it
we wanted to
saves
go
it.
ahead and get this
Because
effect
sometimes
in
it glitches
for
and you have to
safety.
do that
Yeah.
after
So-
an
and
update.
Even though this is a
So try
different
that.
trigger, it's not just GP5. You do still need to
'Cause
continue.
mine's
getting
auto
assists. We
builds
didn't want
with no issues.
multiple people getting this, multiple people getting the gold while one person clears. So again,
Yeah.
just for safety, especially with the level 15 combo, because a lot of the feedback was, well, if we changed it on Benevolence, then they would just buy Embrace, and if we changed it on Embrace, they would just buy Boon. Whichever way you could get that much gold starting at level 15 and
Yeah,
pull ahead
exactly.
was potentially going to lead to these slow metas where people would just try to play super defensively and stalemate and then get this big advantage in the late game. So
kinda want
overall,
to try
very
that
exciting for
Pendulum
early
of
game
Ages.
supports.
Sounds good. Early game supports and me
Second of
playing
the
Hunter and
build
being 0 and 8
here,
because
yeah.
I'll definitely, you know,
Console,
I don't know how to
obtain
farm.
seed
Cool. So
upgrades
that
to
actually does
Sands
it for
of
items.
Time.
Are you good,
on my
Harrison?
build
Are you,
string.
I feel like you've been going
Yeah.
through a tough
Roasting
stretch
yourself.
I
recently.
haven't
man.
played Smite in a while, and I
Console's
got
been
back
having a
into it the
glitch,
other
dude.
day.
There's
Had
some
a rough
people on
session.
console
Had a
that
rough.
can't see
It was a
starter
rough
items.
night, you know.
Hey man, just
Gotta
gotta
get
believe
through
in yourself.
get a
you
few
know?
arenas or something.
I
to
just gotta hop
shake
in.
the rust
I gotta
off.
hop in and play with more of y'all. Because
Yep.
usually y'all are nice, and y'all will be like, "Hey, buddy, you're supposed to be on this
Yeah,
side of the
come to
jungle
arena,
already,"
baby,
and
come
I'll
to
be like,
arena.
All right, cool. So
Yeah, you
Yep.
come to
Anyway.
a playtest. You
Come,
pretty much
hey,
get free
come to our
coaches.
Discord.
Exactly.
If you
So,
guys are
and you
watching
learn
this
to
from
beat me
Smite,
to
come
shape.
to our Discord, man.
She will do that.
Toxic free environment. My
That's it for
Reapers
the
will go
items.
against
We have some
y'all's
god balance to
Titans.
get
Come
into,
on,
though,
bring it, baby.
starting with
Bring it.
Kind of
Reapers
I'm always
versus
scared when we
High
have
Res.
to
What's
talk about
up?
this Nox
Bring
is,
it, baby.
Don't get too
I'll
excited.
film that.
Don't get
Let's
all
go.
right. Not excited already.
That's a
what's
challenge
going
to
on,
you
Nox?
guys,
don't wanna
man. You guys
oversell
watching this from the
but,
Smite?
This is yet again another
Bring your
minion
Olympians,
damage
baby. We're ready.
adjustment on
Let's
Nox.
go.
So playing it safe.
Come to our
One of
house.
the things we wanted to just acknowledge
Come to
here
our
is that
hood.
this god is being mostly played as a support.
Yep.
In Conquest, in high level.
Have some
Yeah.
fun
which is
games.
important.
Let's go.
And that's cool. And there's a lot of other support buffs that potentially
Haven't
Nox
played
could
Smite
benefit a
in
lot from.
while,
Yeah.
maybe
So we were hesitant to buff her
Unless you
any
put
further,
them there on
especially
the
as now
computer.
she might be with all these changes. She might be a even more viable, high skill level support in Conquest.
Got it.
And that's really cool for her because
Yeah.
this is a cool
Oh,
flex
Shadow Lock.
god that we don't
Increase
see a
base
lot of over
damage
the
to
years. Kind of
minions.
struggled. However,
Okay,
this god
increase-
is still a complete nightmare in every other mode, and she does an incredible amount of damage. And is very evasive, has an extremely strong escape, and
So
some
they
of the
gave
most
her
powerful lockdown
10%.
in the game.
Her
That's
gain-
been
her
something
cooldowns are
that
10%
she's
longer.
dominated arena for many, many years. So we are finally using our new non-conquest tech to do one. We have a couple of these today. Some interesting
do.
shifts where buffing a god in a way that might help it in Conquest, but using the
But
non-conquest
you know what?
as a way as a
But
safety
you know
valve
what?
to prevent them from becoming
That's all
overly
good.
frustrating.
They can play that game. You know what I'm going to do? They just took away the damage
Yeah,
off
like
that
Nox in
Sphinx.
Arena,
So
killing
guess
me
what?
and then
I'll just
jumping
add
into somebody
Sphinx and
and
get my
vanishing into the
10%
mist.
back.
I
What's
cannot
up?
believe how many times
What's
that
up?
god gets away from me in arena.
so
I'm like,
bad.
oh, I've definitely got her this time.
Yeah.
Nope,
criminal.
gets away.
You fire off like a Persephone
I'm
or
gonna,
an
I'm gonna
Atlas
have to
ult and
definitely
just
mess with my Nox.
So
skill
the
down,
most
baby.
frustrating thing about Nox is that escape and that lockdown. So
Yeah.
we're increasing her cooldown slightly, so she cannot lock you down as often. She cannot escape as
Trust
often.
me, baby. I'll
It's
lock you
gonna-
down.
we
I'll lock
have
you
seen
down.
some pretty noticeable data effects
Yeah.
from these changes. So we
Yep.
would expect this to smooth out Nox's frustration a little bit. I still expect she'll be, as usual, she'll still probably be quite good in those modes.
She'll be
but a little less frustrated.
Obnoxious.
Cool. Well, that all sounds
She'll
good.
still be
Excited to hear that. Next up,
obnoxious.
Janice also getting some buffs, it looks like.
Yeah, just we noticed that he was really
Yeah,
lagging
baby, Nox
behind
is a
in the
beast.
base physical protection
Yeah.
department, and even though you
Jonas.
don't want to be getting hit that often anyways on Giannis, minion damage, that kind of stuff, that can all add up pretty quickly. So just giving him a little bit of a buff on his on his base physical protections, and then the smallest little tiny buff to Unstable Vortex just to help him clear just a little
Increased
tiny
base
bit.
physical protections.
Feels like itemization really isn't in his
Increased
wheelhouse
physical
right now
protections.
either, and we want to acknowledge that
Increased base
that will
damage.
affect a god coming in and out of the meta, but Giannis has just been absent for a little bit too long, so
Yeah.
just giving him
Yeah,
a
I haven't seen
slight
too many of
nudge
them
up
in,
the
in
vibe.
arena to tell you
Got
the
it.
truth. I've seen them
Cool.
very
Next
rarely,
up,
maybe
Raijin
once or
looks
twice
like,
a month.
Percussive
if anything.
Storm getting a little bit of a buff as well.
Yeah, you're going to see some similar
I
themes here.
really
We have
don't
a
see
couple
too many
of
Raijin
mages that are
or Raijin.
actually generally perceived as quite good because but these mages tend to be played only by pros and pretty struggle
Yeah, I don't see
pretty
too
much
many of
everywhere
them in
else.
arena, I'm not
Even
gonna
right
lie,
now,
dude.
the pros aren't interested in them either. So
I mean,
that's
he's
no
a
sign that
strong
they can
god
use
if you
them.
know
Yeah,
how to
he's
use him.
useful too.
But I just don't
So
see too many
because of the
people use him.
9.5 changes to tankier minions as well as tankier gods,
Yeah.
mages have struggled a little bit to clear and to kill their opponents. So these are a couple of the ones who we feel like were hit the most by it.
Yep.
So we got the Janice getting his main damaging ability.
Seen a
being
lot of
buffed.
Janice
we also have
in arena or
Raijin
lately?
getting a
You
similar
have? I
buff,
haven't
for
seen that
similar
many, to tell you the
reasons.
truth.
And then we're going to move on to another god who doesn't quite have the same buffs, but
Maybe
the
I did. I
reasoning
just didn't
behind
realize
is
it, but I
generally the
just
same.
I don't
Struggling for the
remember.
same reasons.
So
Yes,
that
that struggling
obviously it's
god
not
is
that
Thoth,
memorable.
and I mean, Dead Reckoning getting a little bit of a buff as well.
Yeah, that's his passive, just making
haven't seen
sure
too many
that you
Thoths
can
either,
get
man.
your flat pen from your passive online a little bit earlier. This is, bar none, one of the
used
best
to
mage
play
passives in the
Raijin
game. It's
a
just
lot.
not
Once they
valued
nerfed
very
him,
well by a
he
lot of our
seemed
player
really
base
weak to me.
because it's
Yeah.
hidden and it's stat based and all that kind of stuff. But
Raijin.
I think that you will feel getting your
Raijin.
flat pen a little bit earlier.
Whatever, dude. You know what the hell I'm talking about.
And then Final Judgment, it gets to an okay spot in the late game, but right at level 5, you feel like it's
Raijin.
not quite as lethal as you would like it to be. So really only bringing up that bottom end
Yeah.
and leaving it the very same once you get to level 20 so that, no one likes to remember them getting one shot over the wall by Final Judgment.
Yeah.
See,
I remember
guys like
doing
Thoth
it. Yeah, that
and
was very
Janice,
fun.
man.
But having it hit
The
you wasn't great.
whole
Yeah.
And this way it'll be
thing
the exact
behind
same
them that
late
made
game,
them fun
just
is
a little
being
bit
able to
better
get those
in the early
snipes,
stages.
right?
Yeah, just
Dude,
bringing
those
it online
snipes
a
were just what
smidge
made
earlier,
those
so it
gods,
really-
in my
you feel
opinion.
good
That's the
getting
only
that
reason I would
vibe,
love to
hitting that
play
little
them
button
is
and being
just
like,
being
"Alright,
able
now
to
it's time
get
to
those
shoot somebody over the wall and
freaking
scream."
satisfying
Right,
snipes
so,
from
cool.
like the other side
Next
of the
up,
map.
Scotty getting
But
a
they kept
couple
on
buffs
nerfing
kind of
them,
across
dude.
a few abilities as well. So
They need
more
to beef
dangerous
up
ice
their
tickle spears
ult.
and doggos.
Yeah, moving on to some hunters here. There's going to be another theme in today's patches, which is
Increased
we're going to
base
be doing a
damage.
lot of adjustments on gods who use roots.
Dude, that's huge.
So in the mid-season, we reclassified roots into hard CC.
Wow.
Yeah.
We wanted
Dude,
to
those are some
decrease
good
the
buffs for
likelihood
Scotty,
of
bro.
long CC chains.
Yeah.
For sure.
And roots were very good at that.
They were.
Especially when properly timed well, when the god had already been DR'd by some other CCs, and then you go ahead and follow up
Dude,
with a
from
root.
290
really
to
was just,
310
the nail in
late
the
game?
coffin for
That's
many
30
gods.
more?
So we
10,
are quite
20
happy
more.
with that change, decreasing the
pretty good,
total
dude.
chain CC across the whole game. But it did
Winter's
negatively
Grasp.
affect a couple gods.
Increase
No one
the
really
tick
plummeted.
power scale.
Yeah.
A couple gods had some small
2.5%,
decreases, so you're
so
going to
they
see a
increased it by
variety of different
50%.
damage and utility buffs. And in one rare instance, we're actually going to increase
What is
some
happening?
root duration CC back.
Is this
We
the
generally don't want to
buffing
do that very
patch?
often
Yeah,
because
right?
that is a little antithetical to the whole point of
But you know what?
nerfing CC across the game.
Yeah.
But there is one god on today's update show that
You know I
feels
love my hunters,
especially
baby.
reliant
You
on
know I
that.
love
So,
my
yep,
hunters,
Scotty,
but
a
I don't
hunter,
think the hunters
so,
need
that
to
kind
be
of
buffed
saves us
anymore,
some time to
dude.
discuss.
I mean,
We're
they're
going to talk about
buffer
this a couple times.
hunters
Yeah.
right now are pretty
Scotty
strong.
as a hunter, generally
Very
not
strong.
perceived as very
Mages
strong,
need to
just
be
does a lot of
buffed, but
damage
not
output,
hunters,
not
man.
a lot of utility.
Hunters
but,
are like
she
kings
does
and
have a
queens
root on
right
that
now
ultimate,
in the arena.
which brought her down a little bit, and her piercing cold, which
It
is
got to a
kind of
point where I was
her-
running
her
200
standard line
roots
attack,
instead
was
of
a little
2 mage
low
roots.
compared to most other hunters, especially with the 9.5 changes to minions and gods.
Yeah, the
right.
damage,
A lot of
yeah.
similar themes today that we're going to be keep building on. So,
But you guys
getting some
know, man,
buffs
all
there,
these
as well as
changes
Winter's
are
Grasp,
because of
which, when
Conquest,
you
not
look at the
because of
total
arena.
damage from that ultimate, it can look like a lot.
You know
if
we're
you
an
get hit by
afterthought.
every tick
Little
from
every
both
little bit.
sources,
But
but it's
yeah.
this is the
extreme-
one time where
extremely
we're
rare
going
for
to
that
reap
to
the
happen. So
benefits of
getting
them
some
having
scaling buffs there just to
to
make sure that if you
buff
do get hit
up
by a couple of ticks, it's
Conquest,
still
right?
something that you notice.
So this
Yeah,
is looking
it doesn't
pretty
feel
good so
totally
far,
useless
man.
if you don't land the entire thing. So crazy how when
Little
you
bit of a
release
nerf
huge
to my
mid-season
Nox, but
update
not
that
enough
shakes
for me
the
to
entire
get
tree, how
outraged
many little
about.
things you get to go back and be like, oh,
So
we
it's not
never.
too bad.
That's
Plenty to
new.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah, plenty to do.
And they
Super
moved away
cool.
from the
Next
mages.
up,
They're
Neath,
into the
a
hunters. so.
classic, a favorite. Also
they're
getting
not
a little
touching
bit of
Zeus,
buff,
so I'm happy with that.
along with Spirit
And we kept the
Arrow.
dev text on this one.
Roots
did we really?
nerfed.
Roots
Yeah,
nerfed.
that already happened. It
Yeah.
That's
already
supposed just
got
to be
there.
a note to us, but you all can see that one too. But
I shared that
when
with
you
you.
think of gods with roots, I think she comes up.
Decrease
Like
the cooldown
Neath's
down
root is a
at all
focal point of her
ranks.
kit.
Yep, exactly.
Sure,
So just
it'll
making sure that she can
decrease
use it a
mana
little bit
cost.
more often now that
Yeah.
it won't be as potent as it used to be. Not wanting to bring down the late game cooldown because it's a god that typically does buy a lot of cooldown reduction, but just making it easier for her
200 meta now
to
will be
establish
for
lane pressure early on in the
100
game,
meta.
Of course.
and decreasing its mana cost a little
I
bit.
don't know,
Because
man.
even
I
though
don't
she
know, 'cause
again
I'll tell you what,
typically
mages
buys
got pretty
transcendence,
freaking
her
strong.
early game
this,
can be a little bit awkward with
Yeah.
if you're not great
with
at
this
managing
patch.
your mana.
Cuckoo
So
Khan's
just making it a little
whirlwinds
bit
are gonna be a
easier to
nightmare,
use
dude.
this ability more often and then not cause you to run out of mana for
Cuckoo Khan's
She's also got some
definitely
new
going to get because he's
competition
going to be
in
able to
that,
build
hunter role,
that
so
True.
flat
give her a
pin
little buff to
and
make
the
sure she keeps
anti-heal
up.
Yeah.
really
Good
early.
luck.
Excited to
because
talk
of
about that
the
later.
low cost of the
So
items.
next up, kind of moving into the out of the hunter area into Guan Yu. Looks like Guan Yu also getting a little bit of a buff, just some cooldown
Yeah, her
touches on
roots are
Conviction
annoying.
and Warriors will.
We wanted to make sure we got
Conviction,
something for
decrease
every role.
Yeah.
decrease cooldown.
We were
Dude,
looking
that
at a
dude's
lot of the
pain in the
warriors.
butt. When he
and,
starts doing that,
they were a little bit more difficult to assess as far as
golly,
who's
dude.
ready for buffs and nerfs right now. But we did pinpoint Guan Yu. He
Yeah.
doesn't have any roots, but he has fallen off quite a bit over the year. He was really strong a year or so ago.
I remember.
Took some big nerfs there, and we're just going to walk those
Yeah,
back
dude, they
slowly.
beat the crap out of him with the nerf stick.
Guan Yu
dude. They
kind of
beat
has
the
a
crap out of
low
that.
cooldown theme, as does some of the midseason
but
and
he's
recent
still
patch.
strong,
So
dude. I
we
always
wanted to
get
just play
my
into that a little bit more,
freaking
make sure he
bell
can
rung
really
every time
use
we
his
go against
Conviction
one of these
Warriors
fools.
will very often weave that into his basic attacks. He's a really fun god to play.
Warrior buffs and
really
nerfs now.
like
Yep, moving
flows
into the
super well,
Warriors now.
especially once you really get that cooldown flow going.
Yeah.
So,
But notice
just a
how
little bit of
they
leaning into his
started
strength
upping
to help
these
him shine.
these
And,
hunter type
you know,
items,
maybe we see if we can
and
bring
then
him back in that total.
surprise,
Yeah,
what
just
are we
bring-
getting
I mean,
next
I
week?
agree. Guan Yu is
Another
one of the
hunter.
people that actually kind of got
So
me
they're
into
gonna
this.
make her
I remember
even
getting
more
my first
OP.
like
So that's
the
going to be
first
very
skin
interesting.
from
dude.
a convention
Very
I went to,
interesting.
the little card. It's one of the very
Yeah.
first
Oh, that's
things
a
I
really
ever got.
dope convention skin. The
Yeah.
black and purple.
The
that
black and
2016?
purple.
She was
Yeah,
strong
I
coming
think
out.
so.
She's
Yeah.
really
Good
going to be
trivia.
strong
You
because
remember
she's
that.
going to be
I'm
getting
pretty sure it was
the
2016.
buffs
Throw
from
that in the chat.
that they're
But
buffing
yeah,
right now,
so I'd
plus
love to
her
see
stuff.
that. Next up, Set looks like getting some changes, and Sandstorm getting a little nudge.
Yeah, this is the one that this might be my favorite
thought-
buff in the whole patch. Set is one of those gods that is really, really good in the early game.
Yeah.
Oftentimes can get off to these incredible leads, but then as soon as you get into the team fighting stages later on,
Dude, nobody
it's
plays
very
Set
hard
in
for you
arena.
to pick your spots. So,
Got
and,
it.
and his whole
I think I
kit
might have seen
is so
one or
dependent
two
on
sets
Sandstorm
in the
because
last
it turns
90
your ultimate
days, dude.
from
Nobody
this like
plays Set in arena.
good movement speed stim and all that kind of stuff to like,
Heck,
oh
I
my
don't
god,
even
this
play
guy is
Set.
like healing
I mean,
and
I
spawning
think I
a
played
million
him a couple
clones
times,
and,
but when I
you
do
know,
a
doing all
Set
these
video,
crazy
I usually
things.
get Nightwing to play. 'cause
This
Nightwing can
buff
play
to just
Set really,
take
really
it
well.
from physical
Me?
damage mitigation
not
on
so
Sandstorm
much.
to damage mitigation.
Not so much,
across against all damage.
Right.
Makes him
Buff
a
them up, boy.
significantly better team fighter when he's going to be getting hit by magical and physical damage
Yeah, on
without
both ends.
making
Yeah,
his
he
laning
needs
phase
a
against
revamp, to
other
tell you the truth.
warriors
His
or when
attacks are
ganking
garbage, man.
other.
They need to redo his whole kit like they did
ganking a
Loki.
lane against physical
That's my
characters.
opinion.
It doesn't make that any better.
Yeah.
And so that and
just
so
not
I
too
think this is
enticing
a
to
really
play in
cool
the
area
arena,
to
to
try
tell you the
and
truth.
get him to be a better god in those team fight scenarios. I'm excited to see what it does for sure.
Let me throw in a little disclaimer before we go to Aries, which is that I know it looks like we're
Oh,
buffing a
dang,
lot
did
of
he just say
traditional
Aries?
like SPL gods, and sometimes the Smite
Oh, no, here we
community's
go.
memory can really get
Here we go.
frozen in time, and people
Yeah.
are probably imagining, well, Thoth and Raijin and Set, these are all top tier. None of these gods have been played in Pro League in like over a year. Like
They've been
none
low,
of
very
them.
low.
So I know it might seem like just recently they were stomping all over the place, but all of these
Set
gods
is
are pretty
perfect
hard to play.
for right
all
now.
these gods have
I don't
suffered a
play
good
Set,
bit
dude. I
from the
wouldn't know.
9.5
I don't like
changes.
this kit.
So although this might look a little scary, these gods do, they need it. And
Yeah.
they maybe needed it for a while, but we took some time,
Let
really
them
made
breathe.
sure they needed it before we did it. So
Yeah.
hoping to see a few of them come back, especially in the
All
Pro
right,
League. where
here
these
we
are
go. Come
these are
on,
the types of
quick
gods
jibber
that-
jabber.
Yeah,
Let me
kind
hear
of
what you
falling
did
off a
to
little
Now we
Aries.
can talk about a more casual god that I love, which is Aries.
Yeah, could you guess? Aries, like you just said. So, I mean, Aries also getting some buffs kind
Shackle
of across the
Revert.
board, it looks like a little bit.
Increased
Dive
god
into it.
damage
So this is a revert from the
by 5 per
pre
tick.
9.5.
No escape.
Got
Decreased
it.
cooldown from
Now that everyone's a
90
little tankier, it's okay to give
non-Conquest.
Aries
Increased
some of his
ultimate
goddamn
cooldown
back.
from
Just a little
15.
Then we also
As a
have
treat.
another conquest, non-conquest
What the
shift.
crap?
So no escape
Increased ultimate
is
cooldown from
much
15%
more
to
powerful in
30%.
non-conquest modes. Tends to be, right? It
significantly.
beats a lot more. You're just more likely to hit more targets more times.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
15
arena combo.
So
seconds to one.
what we're doing here is kind of the first example of a very literal shift where he's getting 10 seconds off of his cooldown, But we're also
So they
increasing
increase
the ultimate
his
cooldown
ult by
in
cooldown,
Non-Conquest
but they gave
by
him
an
more damage on
appropriate
his chains, it
percentage
looks
to
like.
essentially keep it at the same. We wanted to keep clean numbers. We didn't want to do 28% or whatever. So
Yeah.
we did round that up to 30. So he is actually getting a 2-second nerf in Non-Conquest as well. But this effectively buffs him in Conquest while keeping his ult cooldown
Ooh, big
at
nerf.
the
Yeah.
level he want. At
Not good for
Conquest, which is
Aries. Nope.
A really cool way
No.
to use this new.
But at least he'll
Yeah,
have
the
more
new feature.
chain.
Very excited
damage.
about this
Not
buff
much
and,
more,
and
but a little
what
bit
we
more.
can do with things
Anything
like this
helps,
in the
right?
future. I mean, you look at No Escape, and it doesn't feel like a 100-second cooldown level strength in
Yeah.
Conquest, but
Yeah,
One more
for some reason,
like
Aries
AJ said,
ult does
it
feel like
can
it
very
comes up
easily
really, really quick.
show
man.
up that way in Non-Conquest. And I did
Yeah.
see a
But
lot of
that's
feedback
because he can
on, I
benefit
can't believe
from,
Aries was one of the gods
like
that
stuff
got
like a
Non-Conquest
Chronos
nerf, and
Pendant
so I
and the
think
Spirit
that some players
Desolation
might
is
be
why.
surprised
Or
that
other-
he is,
what the heck
we're
was
keeping
it?
his number in
That one
Non-Conquest about
green
the
armor
same.
that if you get
But
hit
I
with the
believe
magical
that
thing,
he
it
was the
counts
most
down
resilient
too.
to
Not
his
that I use those
Non-Conquest
items
nerfs
from
on
anyway.
the
I
first
use
pass. That he
Aurora
stayed the
type items,
closest
I think.
to
I
his
can't
previous win
I don't
rate.
recall seeing feedback about people
I might use
not
Chronos
believing
Pendant on
Aries is good in Non-Conquest.
Maybe it was
this god has
one
been probably one of the
particular
top
Reddit
5 winningest gods in Arena for all of Smite
I
history,
believe
right?
it.
And,
I
and,
believe
and
it.
that spreads well to
Yeah,
jousting
dude, because
slash
he's a
spells.
beast,
Yeah.
dude. With those
So, I mean,
he's good.
auroras
Yeah, the wombo
and
combo
all that
potential is incredible.
damage
There's
mitigation, dude.
more
he's
than a
nasty,
handful
son.
of other gods that if you land a half decent, I mean, even a 2 or 3 member Aries ult, you can wipe a team basically. So
Easily.
I super believe it. Next up, we got
Yeah,
a
if
good
you
boy
got
on
a
the
team
list,
that
Cerberus,
uses
also
teamwork.
getting some buffs. Been
That'd be
good,
the
gets
group,
a
though.
little buff as a treat. And Spirit of Death, Soul Expulsion, Stygian Torment. I mean, 3 abilities all getting buffs. Let's get into it.
Increased damage.
Yeah, I think the passive,
Increased
with all the
cooldown.
healing changes in mind,
Yeah.
you're taking a look at his passive, and this is a cool, unique identity that is, there are
much
lots
so.
of gods who anti-heal with their abilities, but
That's what I'm
Cerberus
talking
is
about.
the one who
Cerb needed some
absorbs
love,
that
dude.
heal.
Cerb hasn't
And
had no
we
love
wanted
in
to
a
kind
long
of play
time,
up
dude.
that unique aspect of his kit a little
Yeah,
bit.
that's what's
And
up.
also, like
10
AJ said,
second
a god
reduction,
that
I'll take it,
probably
dude.
has a
I'll
lot
take
of SPL PTSD for some people, but
In
that
this economy.
it's been a little bit. I know Mike did play a
Madness.
Cerberus support
That's-
game.
that's just straight
at
up
Masters,
craziness.
So thanks PBM for that, making our messaging worse. But overall,
viable polar bear
one
Mike player.
one pick.
Hey, I'm
by
not
the way.
complaining, baby, 'cause you know I love
we
my
just think
Cerb.
that he could use a little bit of
Big
help,
Cerb.
and these are some good places.
Kind of an all-around buff.
Yeah.
Give him a little bit of everything.
Yeah, just a little sprinkle
Good
of
Which we
stuff,
everything.
don't, I
man.
wouldn't say we
Good
do that
stuff.
often, but I think
Yep.
this was a reasonable place to do it, and it fit well with the kit.
Yeah. Well, you need more than one buff. There's more than one head, It'd be like giving it one treat. Doesn't seem fair.
Yeah, Cerb still needs a
So-
little bit more love on his cooldown. His cooldowns early games are freaking.
My God, these are
nightmares, son.
terrible. This is terrible work from both of you. I get the Cerberus joke on my right, and then this Kumbhakarna pun transition on my left.
Uh-oh.
What am
Here
I
we
supposed
go
to do?
with
with
Kumbhakarna.
This is what the people want, Aggro. So I've been
Hey,
doing this
I'm
for a while,
cheap
right?
man.
That's true.
Here,
That's
I
right.
like
Yeah,
the
I
Cerberus.
apologize.
Yeah.
Please continue.
tell you
with
how to
your bit.
Yeah, Cerb, nice.
feelings are
You're
hurt.
right.
Yeah,
Cerb definitely
Kumbhakarna.
needs some love, dude.
It's Kumbhakarna.
Kumbhakarna, so
Definitely need
he's
that
been on the
love.
low end for a while. There's been a lot of discussion about buffs and bigger changes potentially.
Yeah.
He also has a root, so he fits into that category.
Of course.
Increased health.
We would
and
look for
mana
a couple different ways to buff
awakens.
Kumbhakarna.
Okay, decreased
Again, kind of a
cooldown.
unique way. So first of all,
Holy
this
crap.
passive.
Yeah.
Pretty big
Decreases
buffs
cooldown
here.
from
The,
240
cooldown we cut
seconds to
by an
180
entire
seconds?
minute.
Dude, that's like
Entire
huge.
minute.
Which it's very, very long cooldown.
Yeah, to be
so
fair.
it's still
Increased
quite
cooldown.
long. But that's going to make him certainly harder to kill, and he's going to respawn at higher health as well
Wow.
when he is not properly killed from that passive.
Kumba buff
Again,
nerf.
it's one of his unique things, just like we mentioned about Cerberus, so we
Decrease
wanted to
the
play this up a little bit
cooldown.
more.
Yeah, of course.
13 seconds to 11
Throwback,
seconds late
which
game.
is kind of a very important ability for Kumba
Increase
for
the
both
health
damage,
and mana.
poke, and
Yeah.
gap closing, and
So
escaping.
he's getting more health, and he's
gonna
going to
let
be able
that
to come
scale
back
cooldown
up
into
a
the
lot
late game.
faster.
Cool.
which should just give
That's
him
a-
quite
those are
quite
some
an
big
additional
buffs for
bit of
Kumbhakarna, man.
flexibility and utility. And then
Epic
finally,
uppercut,
Epic
increase
Uppercut,
the
which is kind of
landing
like
damage.
budget Neja alt,
By
when you really
40
just want to
late
take out
game,
one
dude.
person.
Holy
Yeah.
crap.
But
That is
people are
huge,
tankier
man.
now, so it's easier to survive from things like that.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
I believe we had
Very
Neja buffs
nice.
already. We did have those already, right?
Very
Are we doing
nice.
those again? I think we might have done them once before, and then we might still
Dude,
do
they
them
had a
again. So
lot of
apologies if
buffs.
that's
This-
spoilers for
Yeah,
the
I think that's just a
Which
spoiler.
kinda
Yeah, I
makes
know for a
me
fact
a
that's just a
little
spoiler.
worried
Okay, my bad.
about the
Anyway.
next upcoming update.
Epic Uppercut getting some damage
I
there
think
too.
the next
Just to make
update,
sure
we're just gonna
when
beat
you
the-
pick Kumba,
get the
that's
crap
one of
beat
his
out
main
of
game
us
plans.
with the nerf.
Isolate someone, bring that target down. We want to make sure that that has a better chance to work.
That's
And
huge,
now
man.
he's just
40 late game,
unquestionably
that's huge.
sleepier.
That's
right?
true.
He gets sleepy 1 minute faster.
Increased
Yeah.
sleepiness sleepiness.
Yeah, he's
by
sleepier now.
33%.
Yep.
I feel that. I turned 26 like a month ago, and I feel like I also got an increased sleepiness thing.
There you go.
So definitely
We
there
always
for
get sleepy. Everybody. All the time.
it. Forever.
If anybody's not, tell me how.
Yeah, true. Send that into us. Next up, Terra, also getting buffed.
Uh-oh.
Terra's already buffed. She doesn't need more buff.
I really don't
So much
pay
muscle.
Terra
It's
too
That-
much,
that's
but
pretty
I
good,
have
but she
been
does
seeing
need a
lot
buff
of
in terms
Terras
of
in
her
arena
actual
gameplay.
in-game
Yeah,
strength.
that's fair.
Again, a god that was affected by the root
Force of
changes,
nature,
not getting
decrease
any
the
sort of
cooldown
duration
by 2
change to her root,
seconds.
but instead trying to let her use it a little bit more
Monolith.
often.
Increase the
Force of
amount of
nature
hits
is the
it
dash
takes
that
to destroy
sets
it.
up the root, so want
Increase
to
the
let her
shatter
use that a little
damage.
bit more often. And then monolith
Holy
itself,
crap, dude! They
making
increase the
sure
shatter
that
damage
when
by,
you can
by 20 late
shatter
game.
it,
That's,
it's going to
that's
deal a little
pretty
bit more damage and
Yeah.
make it a little bit harder to shatter.
Yeah, dude,
when she was
that's
at her
pretty big, man.
peak
Terra
SPL
getting
strength,
buffed,
this was
dude,
a common
she's already
suggestion
pretty
in order
strong
to,
if you know
put a
how to
little
play
bit
her,
more
right?
counterplay at the high level. Of
course.
But because
I've been
she
seeing
has
a lot of
received
Terras in
a lot of
arena
other nerfs
lately,
since
dude.
that point,
A lot.
and decreased in strength outside of just that
Yeah, she's
setup and
definitely
root,
getting some love, dude.
we felt like it was pretty safe to make monolith a little bit more reliable
Yeah.
as well.
Also, might give her a little bit more solo flex potential.
True.
That'd be interesting.
Which I think
haven't really
Terra
seen
is
too many
generally seen
heavy
as, like,
nerfs
not
this
a
update thus
do-nothing
far, so that's
solo
really
guardian,
good,
right?
dude.
She has to use her abilities very proactively.
Nox
Yeah.
got a little bit
multiple
cooldown
at a time
nerf, but you know
for them
that's
to be
not going to affect
effective.
my Nox
So
game. Come on,
I
dude.
like the
Come
kind
on.
of bruiser Terra, so this
Yeah.
might help that too.
A lot of good micro macro play. All right, so we've been talking about so many roots. It reminded me that Sylvanas is up next, actually. So also some buffs for Sylvanas.
He has a root. He's made of roots.
Yeah.
His name
Increases
is
root
Grover.
duration from 0.5 to
This is the
0.25,
one.
0.5.
This is the
That's
one?
pretty
This is
good.
the one that
Nature's
we
got
decided
increased
to
cooldown
buff the
by
root
1
duration.
second.
There it
And that's
is.
because of a very specific
You're not going to
combo
feel those.
feature
I mean,
within Sylvanas,
cool.
right?
They
You wanna
buffed
hit
that, but
root,
you're not
then
going
you
to
wanna
feel
get
that
the
difference,
pull.
dude.
Yeah.
Who the
We
heck
didn't
feels
really
a
wanna
quarter
buff
of a
any
second?
AoE
You know
roots.
what?
We didn't really want
I mean,
Terra's root
that's
lasting
how
longer,
can you
right?
even
That can hit
measure a
whole
quarter of a
teams.
second? There's
So
probably the
this
lag
was
that
the
you
one we
have
chose
from
to
your
focus
video
on.
card.
Kuba,
probably
he's
gives
got
you more
multiple
than a
forms of
quarter
CC,
second.
plenty.
Yep.
So
I mean,
he
come
doesn't
on,
necessarily
dude.
need that either.
But we'll take it.
So that one's very
Anything's better than
important
nothing,
here on
right?
Sylvanas. And we've also got a decreased cooldown in the Nature's Grasp. That was like
We'll
26
take it, baby.
seconds.
We'll take it.
I know,
long
not that
ago.
long ago.
And we've just been bringing it down bit by bit to really like
The
again.
In fact,
people want
I
more
have a
pulls.
They do.
They want
Sylvanas
to
build
pull
that
people
I got to
as
do a
often
video
as
on.
possible.
We want to
And
play
now,
into the god
I'll
strengths,
probably be
right?
able
So
to
this
do
is
it for this
that's one
weekend.
of
We'll see.
Sylvanas' unique features. It's a tough
Since
skill
they
shot to
didn't
hit
nerf
still.
him.
It is.
Yep.
So
It is.
we want
I
to
actually
make
had
sure
the
that
video
it's,
filmed, but
effective
the
and
camera
something
was
he can do
jacked up, and I didn't
Yeah,
find
so
out
you can
until
really
after
get
the
those
fact, so I have
attempts.
to
It's hard to
redo
learn
the whole
every
freaking
26
video now.
seconds.
Yep.
That's like my
Okay.
memory
Few more
span.
guys.
3 seconds
So
would
yes,
be nice.
we are going through a few more gods. Next up,
Yeah, well-
Bacchus, also getting some buffs. Looks like again kind of an across the board
Bacchus?
thing. Well, really more of a belly flop and belch
decrease the
thing, I
mana
guess.
cost.
Yeah, similar to Cerberus, Bacchus and Cerberus, I
Belch
think, are two
of the
guardians
god.
whose
Added
identity
damage to
is
lane
that
minions,
they can
increase the
threaten
stun
you with their
duration.
damage.
Yeah,
and a big part of
they can be.
9.5
Wow.
was making less frontliners be able to threaten you
Now,
as a backliner with their
increasing
damage. and
the
we're very
stun
happy with
duration
where it
by-
ended up.
by 50%
We just feel
is
like
pretty
those
big.
two
That's a
gods in
pretty
particular
significant,
have a little bit
update.
of room to be slightly more threatening without reaching back to their pre-9.5 level.
So that's a pretty big buff
overall,
for that belch,
this isn't going to be
actually.
any damage for Bacchus, two gods at the very least, but instead allowing him to be
Yeah,
more
that's a-
threatening with his utility, not just his damage. So decreasing the mana cost on belly flop, letting him do it more often.
Yeah.
A spicy change for Belch of the Gods to help him
Yeah,
clear the
50%
wave
increase on
a
the
little bit
spell.
better.
Minion only damage.
Yeah, he ate something spicy before,
Got
and
it.
now it hurts more.
Yeah,
to
big
lane
burrito
moves.
or
Very
something.
burn.
Yeah, exactly. Only if they're using the correct skin, of course.
True.
But yeah, we don't think that this is going to make him a premier pressure support, but he was at
But
the
you know what I
very,
noticed,
very
dude,
bottom
for
of,
arena?
hey, I'm a
not
hunter
too
who
many
needs a little bit
people
of help
like
clearing.
Bacchus, man.
I
Every
need
time
my
I do a
support to help me hit
Bacchus
the
video,
wave. It's like, oh great, I've got
it'll only
Bacchus.
get, like,
he's not going to do a whole lot. So
800
helping
views
him
or
in that
something
regard,
within the first 2 or 3
as well
weeks.
as
It doesn't
increasing his stun
start
duration,
getting
just
over
felt like this was a
1,000
little
views
bit
until like
too
30
short
days
throughout
in.
the game.
For
1
some
second is
reason,
very,
people
very
don't
short
like
for a
Bacchus, and he's
long
actually
channel
pretty
stun
strong
that
in arena, dude,
takes a
so I
long
don't know.
time to go off.
Yeah.
Also requires passive to be stacked to be effective.
A lot of boxes that need to be ticked in
Lot
order for
plays
that
into it,
stun
of course,
to
yeah.
go off.
And
So
the
felt
cool
like
thing
we could
about him,
afford to
he's
give
one
that
of
a
the
little
few
bit of
guardians
strength.
that has a
And then
lead,
he
right?
also loses some mana cost there, and in conjunction with all of the
Kuzumbo and Artio needs
itemization going from
Nah, dude, Artio needs to
a
be
different
nerfed,
duration
dude. That
to 5 seconds to
frickin'
match the anti
silence
duration.
that she had, that
a
movement
bunch of
silence
gods
gets
are
on
getting
my
that treatment
nerves,
as
dude.
well,
That
and
stuff
Bacchus
lasts
is just the
ever.
first
They need to nerf
on
the
the
crap
list
out
here.
of
So
that.
making sure that, again, we don't want any overlap or gaps between when
need
you
to nerf
are
the crap out of
officially
that,
considered out of God combat
Yeah.
and being anti-healed. We want those to be perfectly aligned.
Not
Yeah.
the most exciting buff, just increasing by 1 second on a debuff, but it is a good standardization that makes sure that
Having
it
to
plays well
drink
with the brawling
him
mechanic.
every 10
Yep.
seconds
And,
is
you know,
annoying. Yeah,
Bacchus
for
getting
sure,
a lot
dude.
of other buffs, but the other gods being
This
done a
makes
little bit more for consistency's
Bacchus
sake.
very
but
happy,
also,
yeah.
none of these gods are particularly scary overpowered right now. Cucullin got a lot more play
Healing
in the
reduction
Master's Land
debuff,
than we had anticipated
duration,
at the time we had
40
written
to
this
5
buff,
seconds,
but again, it's a
increased
very
healing
small buff that's also
reduction
very
debuff.
specifically used for counterplay. So
Decreased mana
Sobek,
cost.
Chang'e, Cucullin, and Medusa all going to get that increased healing reduction debuff duration.
Yeah.
Yep.
By 1
So
second.
big.
So
Tickling strike.
Making
Increase
it
healing,
nice and
reduction,
uniform.
Yeah,
debuff
nice and
duration
flat
by
across
1
the board.
second.
So
Right.
that actually will do it for our God balance and the item balance. That's the balance section, y'all. That was a lot of stuff. You got a couple little teasers as a treat. It was a good
So they
good time.
increased
Thank y'all both so
the
much
healing
for all of
reduction
that.
by 1 second
Next
on all
up,
the
we
gods
have some
across the board.
community
That's
news,
huge,
but
dude. That's
a fun
pretty
little
good.
video to
That's
lead us into
definitely
that.
really good.
Excited to see y'all there.
All right, baby, here we go. Here we go. Come on.
Interesting thing that is.
What the crap is this, dude? Monkey Chef. Don't miss April update show. That's today, man. We're watching it now. What's up?
I mean, come on. How great is that, right? That has been an epic to get that into Smite, and we're so happy that it's on the way. We'll go over that skin a little later, but I mean, bun hats. Everybody knows about bun hats. So now we're into some community
know about
news. Let's
bun
talk
hats.
about
What is he
event
talking
stuff.
about?
First up, Smite Night. We have 5v5 Conquest and 2
Bacchus
times
with
Favor
Iron
coming up
Stat.
this weekend,
Shoot,
so
most
look out for that.
ability
Always
kills,
love seeing
yeah.
people show up and show out for
Polynomicon.
Smite Night. But we also wanted to
Yeah,
let
for
y'all know
sure,
that
dude.
this is going to be one of the last times that we actually do a full team required Smite Night. We've heard a lot of feedback about how sometimes it can be hard to pull a full team for that kind of stuff. So we're responding to that feedback by moving that out of the rotation for a while. And, you know, if y'all
How
want
about
to see it
doing
again,
some
obviously
more
always let us know
regular
what y'all
arena
think,
Smite
but
Nights? How
we hear
about
what y'all
that?
are saying.
Forget
We
that
always hear what y'all are
garbage
saying,
freaking
and we appreciate the feedback.
corrupt
Excited for
arena.
more Smite
Do
Nights
the
coming up,
regular arena, dude.
including in 9.8, we're going to have a little classic 4v4 Siege and some Egyptian Clash, it looks like, on the horizon. So excited to see y'all coming out for those. Excited to keep doing it. We also wanted to call out, we talked about in the last section, Sphinx's Bauble. That's been such a hot ticket item. I mean, it's hugely game changing, but one of the effects that it had that y'all haven't liked quite as much was that it moved away from some of our mode of the days that y'all love, some of the cooldown based mode of the days. So we have fixed the issue that made all of that happen, and moving into 9.8, you're going to see some of your favorite mode of the days come back that are cooldown based. So look out for all of those that have been out of rotation for several weeks now, because they are on the way back, on the horizon, starting next week after Tuesday's update. To continue, I also want to shout out DKO. In the Smite universe, for those of you who haven't known,
they're
is
trying to promote that
DKO,
game, dude.
Divine
I don't think it's
Knockout,
doing
a new
very
game
good.
that we're making, and it's going really well. The closed alpha is well underway, and we're
I don't
super
know, dude. I
excited
don't
to
think- I
continue
don't
to
know.
invite
We'll have
people
to
in
see. I don't
to
think that
continue
game's
to see
doing
how
very
y'all
good,
react to
man.
the game and to push towards getting it live when we can. Make sure that you sign up to participate in DKO
people have
at
been doing alpha tests on
DivineKnockout.com.
it.
We're super excited for this. You can wishlist it on Steam, Epic, PlayStation, all favorite platforms, and just keep up with it. There's a lot of fun to be had. So for news, follow at DKO Game.
I guess if you're a
everywhere on all the
console type
social
player,
medias.
that
And
game would be
again,
pretty
sign up
cool.
for that alpha,
You know,
'cause
with
it's an
the
incredibly fun
controller.
game. I have been
But for
following it
keyboard
as
and mouse,
closely
dude,
as I can,
it's not
and
for
I
me
think it's
either,
going to
dude.
be even more
It's just
fun
like that
in the next
multiverse.
couple months as
For
we
y'all,
push
now
towards
that
getting
the
it out of this
you know
alpha stage.
disclosure
So
agreement's
super
over
excited
now,
for
I
all
can
of
tell you that
In
our
SPL
channel
news,
actually
big shout out to the Jade
alpha
Dragons for
tested
winning the Summer
multiverse.
Masters event. It
And
was so
I didn't
awesome.
like
I hope
it at all.
for those of you who didn't catch it, make sure to go back and hit those
That's what
VODs.
this game
It was
reminds me of.
incredible. A lot of fun times had. What a great summer league it was. And, they're in the break period now, so a couple weeks we'll move into phase 3. But again, shout out to the Jade Dragons for that. That was super huge. Whew, and a lot of talking. So now I'm joined by 2 new beautiful cast members
Yeah, it's
here.
live on
Excited to bring them
Steam
on.
now,
We
so
have
I can
Lermy
talk
and
about it
Clumsy.
now.
How y'all doing?
Yeah, I alpha tested it for a
I've been
few weeks and I
watching
did
the
not
patch
like it
notes,
at all.
obviously, from the other room, and these changes are so exciting, you
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
And that's not even to mention what we've got coming up next, because that, I mean, is maybe even more
Yeah,
exciting.
I feel like you have good reason to be excited. I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
a lot of people do.
Yeah. So first up, quality of life is getting kind of a fun little bump. So for those of you who love the default god arts, I don't know why you wouldn't. I love them as well. We're working on bringing back avatars based on default god arts. This is something that we haven't really been able to get into since season 3. So we're behind a little bit, but we're going back to where we left off. We're catching up, starting by releasing a whole handful. I mean, you know what? I'm going to rattle it off. Susanoo, Fafnir, Erlingson, Terra, Izanami, Thoth, Nike, Camazotz. Working on getting those in this time. If I went too fast, you can see that on the update notes. But yeah, we're going to continue to try to bring these back. So look out for those coming with this update and more that are coming out in the future. And how you get them is the most exciting part, I think, personally. You're going to have to play as against or alongside the gods that we release these avatars for. So if you play with them for, I believe, 3 games, if I remember correctly, either
nobody
as
cares
that
about
god,
avatars. How
with that
about getting
god
the
on your
clan
team,
store
or with that
back,
god
dude?
as an
Give us our
enemy,
clan
you will
store,
earn
baby.
progression towards unlocking these
That's what we
avatars,
want.
and that is so cool. Just a little
The
fun
people
mini
have
quest
spoken.
for
Bring
a
us
really
back
awesome
our clan
avatar.
store.
And again, we'll continue to roll these out in the future, but we're starting with 9.8, and I'm super excited to get there. So another big quality of life thing, which this is super hype as well, is in 9.8 we will actually going to have 2 chests that you can purchase with favor now. Favor.
Oh,
So
okay.
those 2 are going to be the Odyssey Soaring Isles cosmetic chest, which is super great. There's going to be all kinds of cosmetics in there you can get for favor. So, I mean, if you're popping those favor boosters or playing on 2x favor weekends, you're rolling Odyssey cosmetic chests, which is incredible.
Yeah,
You're also
Zane.
going to be able to do that for the
Once
voice
upon a
pack
time, they
chest,
had a
which
clan store,
also
right?
Huge.
So when your
voice
clan
packs are one of my favorite things in Smite.
did
honestly,
quests
with so
or they
many
played
talented voice
every
actors,
time you played,
it's
you
going to
earned
be
clan honor,
incredible.
right?
Again,
so clan
for-
honor was a currency.
I feel like I can't.
So once
I
your
can't emphasize
clan
that
got
enough,
to
you know, that's
like
a huge
level,
change.
I think it was like
And last but
4
not
or
least,
7,
in
I
the
can't
little quality
remember.
of life section we got
It would
going here,
unlock a
we're
clan
moving
store
100
where
or more
people in your
exclusive
clan
skins.
could go to the
I
clan
say
store and
or
buy
more because
boosts,
I'll admit, I didn't
skins,
go
and all
through count
kinds of
every
stuff
one.
with
That's
clan
100's a lot.
honor.
But they're going to direct
And
purchase.
everybody
So
in your
look out
clan
for skins,
earned
some of your
honor and
favorite
put it
skins,
into
which you will
one
now
big
be able
old
to just
pool. It was really awesome.
purchase directly right away. So a lot of exciting stuff we're working with. 9.8 just continues to pack on stuff. But that's barely all of it. I keep having to flip my paper over because if you expect me to remember,
Right
I'll
now,
go
our
crazy.
clan
It's
is
so much.
fat, dude. In fact, I had to
We're
cut
gonna
it
move
off because we were
into
getting too many
talking about
applications
the
in.
community calendar event.
I'll probably
which
open up
I always love
apps
these.
here,
I mean, our
about 10 more
community has great
slots here,
artists,
probably
right?
when we
It's
hit
they're so
5,000
awesome.
subs.
Love them. And
I think
being
our
able to
clan's
work with
almost
them
at
is great.
150
So
strong.
we have an event. Y'all have seen these before, a lot of y'all, where you come in, play a game of Smite, earn a free reward. It's that simple, you know. There's nothing more to it than that. If you play a game every day, you're gonna earn a free reward.
I
And
don't
for
know,
2
dude.
weeks, this
They just gave us
community
back
calendar
clans like
event,
last
it's a lot
year,
of C's
but they
to say
didn't
in
give
one.
back
I'm
the
tripping
story
over
yet.
myself. Is exactly
So I
that
don't know,
way. And
dude.
of course, there
They
are
said there was some
boosters.
type
You
of
can
bugs
earn
with it that
gems
was
on
messing
one
up the
day,
game, but
all
I think
kinds
it's
of
all
things you can
BS.
earn. But I think the most popular and for obvious reasons is the different cosmetics you earn from the community.
For 4 weeks.
So I believe we actually get to show some of those off
Boosters
here. We have
maybe.
the art forum. And there are 6 in total, which I am super, super excited. And yeah, here they are. So we have 2 jump stamps.
Oh my god.
And yeah, right, these are incredible. So Shiva and Danzaburo, both jump stamps. The avatars are
Dude,
Loki
that
and
Loki
Jormungandr,
looks so
the goose.
emo, boy.
And
He
then
looks like a
for
bit of
global
emo.
emotes, we have that amazing Atlas one, which I'm
Straight
going
up
to
emo,
earn
boy.
so fast.
Look at
And,
that
well, I guess
friggin-
whenever the calendar day comes. And the Cuckoo
Oh my
one made by
God,
Lee
Shiva
Koi, which I'm
doing
sure a
the-
lot of y'all have
the
seen on Twitter.
quadruple
so,
dab.
Congratulations to all of these people for the incredible work they put in.
Quadruple
And I'm
dab.
excited to not only be able to shout them out as these roll through the calendar event, but to be able,
I like
to
that-
be able
I like
to rep
that
them all
honk
in
one.
game because these are so good looking. The community again is just full of incredible artists that I cannot.
Yeah,
shout
that's
out
awesome
enough.
that the community is actually
So yeah, look forward to this
participating in
coming
these
with
events. That's
9.8.
really
This is
awesome,
the
dude.
community
Really
calendar
awesome.
event. There will be these, so many other things, and if you earn 6, at least 6 rewards. Obviously, you should earn these 6, but if you earn any 6 rewards, you will also get the Dapper Baron Somdi skin. So it is going to be. I mean, there it
Ooh.
is.
He
It's
is
a
pretty
reskin.
dapper.
Very dapper. It has that
It's a
very
freaking
retro
reskin. They just
vibe,
gave him a
too.
plaid
So
jacket.
Totally free if you earn at least 6 of the rewards throughout the 14 days. I mean, come on, it's free. You got this. I believe in y'all. So super excited, super looking forward to this event.
My last
And
dude. What?
super excited to flex all of those super cool community avatar things. I said super.
Dude, I got
a lot.
almost,
We're gonna move past
almost
that.
700,000
So now,
favorites.
we get
dude.
to
I
get
got to
into
use
the
it on
skins,
something.
which
Yeah,
one of
that
my
was
favorite
trash,
sections
dude.
is
I
as
agree.
always.
Ah,
Get
but
to
that- I
ogle all
agree,
of the
dude.
good work that our people
Straight
do.
up trash.
Starting with August 23rd, so with the release of the patch next Tuesday, the Down to Clown
Yeah, they just
chest
reskinned him
and
with
Bad
a
Apple
plaid
Discordia.
jacket. That was
Get an eyeful of that.
what the crap,
She is both creepy and beautiful. I personally, I'm scared of clowns,
bro.
all right?
Who
but
is
like,
coming up with
she's,
this? It's like
she's
ooh,
she's
a
got
little
away with it where
risque,
it's not,
huh?
too
She
creepy,
has those,
too scary. She's there to
the
she's down to
stripper
clown, as the chest would
pasties
say.
on.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
like
little risque.
nightmare-inducing, but like also not a nightmare. Like you wake up sweating, but you're also like, well, I mean, I don't feel like I slept for it. Though, you know?
Look at her little clown
my
friend.
goodness.
Mask, that's so cool.
That is so good.
Oh, but that's also gonna be what's gonna be flying at
Oh
you.
wait,
my
no.
goodness.
Okay, wait. I'm
Clown
sorry.
head.
I take it back. It's scary.
That is horrifying. I love those wings. Let's hear the voice line.
Why not let me teach you a magic
Oh
trick?
man,
That didn't sound threatening at all.
She's just trying to have a good time, a fun time.
Just trying to teach you a magic trick. That's all.
Dude,
I'm not gonna
she's
make
like
your hand
naked.
disappear or anything. No worries.
Jeez.
anybody
no
else
problem.
notice that there's certain
All right,
parts of her
cool.
that
So
jiggle
next up,
a
jumping
little too
ahead here
naturally?
to the bonus update, which will come out out September 6th,
Golly.
we have the Lifeform Chest and Xeno Thrasher Fenrir.
Oh wow, he is
I
scary.
guess
Yeah, that
less
one's just straight up
clothes
scary.
for
So we've gone
goddesses
from one
is
kind
good
of
for
phobia to
business.
another.
guess
I
so,
like
man.
it. I like where we're
Nightmare
going.
fuel.
True. Yeah, Nightmare Fuel is, I think, correct there.
But they
So
did have that
definitely,
Chippendale Achilles, so I
oozing
guess
green horror.
fair is fair, right?
We'll leave it at that.
Oh,
that looks
he
pretty
looks
cool.
Good. He looks
That looks pretty cool.
absolutely terrifying.
Yeah,
and,
It looks
and
like
very
something.
spiky.
It looks like aliens,
Kind of
right?
theme they had with
The alien from
Tiamat, I
Aliens.
remember
An
really.
arachnid
Yeah,
too.
and
Yeah.
I
Arachne,
wanna
yeah.
see all those creepy
Yeah, she
creatures
did kind of
on
remind me of Harley
I
Quinn
agree.
too, man.
A lot of green and black too. I don't know. It just complements the colors complement each other so well. Let's hear the voice line.
Run all you want. There is no escape.
Okay, I'm telling you, that looks like the
If I
movie
learned anything
Aliens.
about playing Fenrir, there's no escape. Yeah, nail on the head there. So that's horrifying. So cool. Again, look forward to this on September 6th, which is the bonus update for 9.8. Another thing coming in the
September
bonus update
6th,
on
bonus
9.8
update.
is the Frostbite chest with Winter's Mark Hu Yi.
Oh, he looks clean. Look at that guy. My goodness.
Very, very clean. I absolutely love this. So we don't have a voice line, or not a voice line. We have a voice line. We don't have a turnaround
So
for this
is
one
it
right
me,
now. So
or
I'm
is
gonna
it
have
just
to
a
apologize for
coincidence?
that,
He looks
but we
like the
do have
main
a voice line.
protagonist
Let's
in
listen
House
to
of
that.
Dragons.
As I take my first step onto this battlefield, I can feel the haunting chill of the northern winds following us.
Just a male
We don't
Scotty
have
skin.
much time.
Pretty much, that's what it looks like.
Man, there's a lot of storytelling in that. Like,
Yeah, he
He
has a nice
looks like the
voice.
main guy from House of Dragons with that white hair.
I love the bird too.
And those
Like very,
eyes.
very aesthetic. I love the blues and whites and all like the
I
dark
like that his
shades.
arm is like frozen there.
Oh yeah, he's like
Yeah.
a ice arm. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, I hope he shoots like a frozen ricochet
That
too.
Fenrir
That would be
skin
really
reminds
cool.
me
with the
of
shattering
Alien
ice.
versus Predator. That's what I was
Super
thinking
love
too.
that. All right, so
it looks
next
like an
up, we
alien that
have,
went inside of a
an Odyssey
predator and
coming
then
up.
came out,
Odysseys
right? And was
are
mutated. That's what it
huge.
looks
It's
like.
a huge event spanning several updates, dropping on 9.8, and this is the Odyssey Floating Isles. Now, there's a whole lot I can go over here, but the base of it is there are floating isles for you to explore. It's a whole realm of floating islands, so you got to get in there, complete missions, and search through these islands, figure out what's going on.
And give 'em
this
more
one has
money.
something a little special.
buy more
if
gems.
you collect 3 floofs, which are scattered throughout the islands, you actually get to go to Chibi Land, a
Oh my
brand new
God.
floating
Oh,
island. Yeah, I
what?
just pulled that off with a straight
Chibi
face.
Land.
That's right, Chibi Land.
So,
So.
these
Are
words
we
are
getting new
using.
Chibi
Yeah,
skins?
no, this is. I
Are we
wrote it
finally
down to
getting
make
a
sure I
Nox
didn't forget it.
chibi?
Yeah, floofs is a professional term, by the way.
It is now.
So yeah, super excited for that. There's a lot of content, and we're gonna get into that. Obviously,
Dude, if they got
here. You don't have
Chibi's
to take my word
land,
for
we
it.
might
You'll
be
see it
getting
all
some
in a
new
second.
Chibi
But that's gonna
skins.
be
You
the
know I
Odyssey
love those
Soaring Isles
Chibis, boy.
coming
They
up.
crack me up.
And it's starting off with some of the event skins, which will drop day 1 of the update, August 23rd. Almost forgot my dates there. Starting with Fairy Dust.
August 23rd is going to be the new event, guys.
Oh, she is adorable. I
August
love this theme so
23rd.
much. And the
That's
little
next
crystal
Tuesday, man.
butterflies. I mean,
Yeah, the little ballerina
mean-
shoes.
That's next Tuesday.
come on, you guys. This is a really cute skin.
Poetic.
I really
Yeah,
hope
it gives
that
us
her
your
little
money.
minions that come out
Ooh,
just go,
Chibi's.
hey.
Yeah.
All right. Who put Clumsy in charge of writing the voice back to you?
Spoilers. What?
Oh my
Oh, they're
goodness.
like butterflies. That's so awesome.
Dude,
I
that
just love
skirt's
the
a little
colors on
short,
this.
huh?
Like, yes, it's very
That
pink, but
shirt-
it's also
that
got a lot of
skirt's
that
a
blue
little
in there.
short.
Like, it's a very natural like progression of those colors, and it just like goes together so well.
Yeah, they really worked that gradient extremely well. Like from all
Yeah,
parts, there's a
tell
gradient
you
halfway
what,
at the middle. The
in
shoes
the
even
front,
have the
it's
grades.
a little
Absolutely
short.
Beautiful. Let's hear the voice line.
Oh, what's that? There are new guests in the forest? Oh, well then, let's be the first to show them a warm welcome.
And she's nice.
She definitely wants to hang out with
graphic
all
looks
of his,
good.
the forest friends.
True.
You're
Sneak
not
up in the
leaving
cloud
the
of
house to
mysteries,
go
so.
fight
Super cool. The
other
next
guys
skin,
dressed like that.
dropping
That's
at the
right.
very beginning
Get
with the
your butt
update
and
next week is
change.
going to be Shadow Dancer Shiva.
Oh, hell no.
Okay,
Oh,
all right,
yes.
that's sick.
See,
oh
this
my
is another
gosh.
one.
This,
It's
like,
that same thing. They just
Shadow
did this
Spirit
one. Was
thing
it
that we
for
have.
I agree.
Super cool.
And it
Hell, they
fits
just gave the
so
same
well.
skin to
That
somebody.
blue
Oh,
is
was it
just-
Odin?
I don't know.
Odin
I
got
can't
one of
stop
these
looking at
skins.
it. Again, with
And
the
Kronos
gradient from the
got one.
dark to the light,
What's his
it's
name?
just
Cernos, whatever the goat
This
boy
theme
name
is
is. He got that
amazing,
skin.
and I'm honestly really happy
Aposh
that we
got
got
the
to
skin.
put this on Shiva as well, because like he's kind of the perfect one for that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's like helmet and the hair coming out there.
Those
so cool.
effects
All
are
the art,
so
he's got,
cool.
forearms
Dude,
made
that's
from material,
that's
but-
a retread,
Oh,
dude.
man.
That's
That is
no.
absolutely incredible.
no,
Again, I mean,
no,
like you said with the hair, I'm tantalized. I'm staring
No.
at it. I can't stop.
Thumbs down.
Let's hear the voice line.
I will usher in the next step of the cycle.
Yeah,
Life
also. That's what I'm saying.
or
It's the
death.
same skin. They just retreaded it for that
That's heavy.
model.
Very heavy.
That's
He's got
lazy,
4 arms
dude.
to
That's
carry it, though.
lazy.
That's true. Definitely can handle.
Y'all
I
lost
don't
cool
doubt that
points
at
on
all.
this one.
So that is
Don't get me
the
wrong,
other
it
of
looks
the
okay,
event skins that'll
but
be
still,
available
just
for
the
purchase
thought
right
of
at the
it, you know
very
what I'm saying?
beginning.
It's the
But
same
next up, we have
crap.
some rewards. As with any Odyssey, there are reward skins you can earn along the way, and the first one is one that y'all might recognize: Bun Hats Hoonbots.
I mean,
It's happening.
It's happening.
it's happening. It's here. You can see him in that beautiful artwork, and he's. I don't know if you can see the little details on that slip there, but that's a steak. Well done and with ketchup, and we all know,
no.
we all
Yeah.
know that is a sin.
Oh, is that why
That's why he's
angry?
mad. That's
Oh,
why
yeah.
he's mad.
I love
He's a
that.
chef, and he's really pissed that you're ordering a steak well done.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and with ketchup? No, not in his establishment. He has a baguette to wallop you with for such a heinous order.
Oh
I
man,
love it.
there he is.
Crap.
To think this day would finally come.
Dude, that doesn't
The
even
bun
look like
and the
him.
hats. I can't get over it. What a
His
great
face
skin.
doesn't even
Anyone
look
can
the
be a
same.
chef.
Yeah,
Or is it
shout out,
just me?
gotta shout out the community effort behind this. It's just, I mean, it shows up at Bacchus Twitter, showing up every single day. I don't know.
300 plus days.
300 plus days.
That's commitment.
It's
Yeah,
definitely
that's almost a full
it's
year of
definitely
just
something
like,
different.
hey,
Huh?
remember this? And,
And it's not even that too.
definitely
It's that there
something
was a
different.
bunch of content behind it too. We got
Oh,
the
yeah.
community involved. Like this quickly became a community meme, and that's what made it so special.
oh yeah, so excited to get it in there. So let's hear the voice line.
I've never seen a place so devoid of flavor. This looks like a job for the world-renowned bunheads to work his magic.
That is so good. I was literally doubled over here at the world-renowned bun hats. So I you know what? It wouldn't be enough just to see it here. Let's go in game and check.
Oh, let's
Oh,
do
we're
it.
going in.
Oh, look at that. What a seamless transition.
Oh, there he
regal
is.
gentleman. All right, so there's all kinds of things to talk about with this. Not the least of which is
Oh
the
my
VXG, which this skin definitely has. Where you get to pogo stick on
Pogo
your
baguette.
baguette.
Well, that's how you know he made a sturdy baguette.
True.
Nice.
It's cool too that this kind of runs a parallel with a lot of the food skins we have as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely.
You know, I haven't
It has
really
a lot
played
of
this
those
guy
foodie
too much. I
effects,
probably
being
should
chef and all, but
play
without
him
the character
a
Oh,
little
bye,
bit more
Odin.
just to,
See you
just to
later,
learn him.
bud.
I don't know crap about him. I did a couple of videos on him like a long time
Oh,
ago.
that's so cool.
There he
But
goes.
I absolutely
haven't played
love
nothing
it.
since.
I can't believe that we're gonna be like facing this on the battlefield soon.
I know, right?
Oh
I might
man.
have to mess around with him too.
Again, I'm just at a loss for words. It was one of those. It was a community push that we loved seeing. We loved all the hype around it, and we're finally able to bring it here. And I couldn't be more excited about it. It is an
I hate that ult. Dude.
Incredible
That ult
skin. I
is
just-
so annoying.
shout
dude.
out
Every
again
time I
to
get hit
Bun
with that,
Hats.
I'm like,
So the next reward in the Odyssey, which all of the rewards will be available to earn right away. Buy all will be the quickest way to get them. But the next reward that you can earn through the Odyssey is
Trash.
Cthulhu.
This is phenomenal. Okay, funny story about this.
Lay it on me.
Someone in the thread of Biakai
that
confirming
Cthulhu?
bun hats asked for Uwu Cthulhu when, and
oh man,
you know what?
that's
Here it is.
Thula.
Now
We're on top of it.
we were
Where's
so hopped
Cthulhu?
up on the bun hats thing that we were just ready to fulfill all the community dreams. So yeah, it's Cthulhu.
Oh, wow. The Eldritch
looks like a
horror of
Hello Kitty
nightmares,
Thulu.
dress.
That's one kind of nightmare, I guess.
That's
Oh,
true.
what the crap is he wearing? Look at his freaking
Oh my
tights.
God,
What the crap is
Yeah, like a
this?
teddy bear.
I feel like a
Adorable.
pedophile just
It
looking
literally,
at
like,
this.
I don't
What
know how
the
you
crap,
take
dude?
Cthulhu, Eldritch Horror, and turn it into like a plushie that I
Who
want.
comes
There
up
it
with
is.
this?
Someone please make this a plushie, by the way. It's really cute.
That is
I
funny. It
would
looks
buy
like
it.
Hello Kitty.
Right? I would too.
The face, I think, is one of my favorite parts as well. It's
Now
just
the
like
back,
cute
what the
baby.
crap
Yes,
are they
yes,
thinking,
too.
dude?
Oh, I love that.
So adorable. Let's hear the voice line.
Ay, ay, ay.
New friends! Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, I'm so excited!
What? That voice doesn't even match his...
I
Oh,
had
my lord.
no idea what to expect, and that
Oh,
was
my
perfect.
lord.
I mean, of course he has to uwu, right?
Oh yeah, he has to uwu. I hope you can uwu in game because I will be doing it constantly.
I do
you know,
believe it's your woohoo.
It is
by the way.
actually-
What the
Mhm.
crap,
okay.
dude?
beautiful. Nothing this
Come on.
good
You gotta be kidding me.
should pass without being seen live.
You can
Let's-
PGS while you're in the ulti, right?
Look at his
Just massive
shoes, though. The
Cthulhu.
shoes are very...
Let's go in game and test it out.
Oh, there
Well
he
done.
is.
Beautiful.
Oh,
There
my
he
lord.
is. Oh, he's staring at us.
We're new friends.
Ay,
Very
ay,
friends.
ay.
Oh,
So
so
much pain.
cute.
Ay, ay, ay. What
like
did
a
they do?
rainbow.
Vibrant. Oh.
Oh,
Oh, that looks really cool.
That looks really good.
that's nice. The rainbow.
It does look good,
And the
though.
little heart in his hand. Oh, I
I mean,
absolutely.
it
He's
looks...
sharing the love.
Nice.
So good.
If you're a freaking
again,
12-year-old little girl, you probably love this.
Glorious.
Wow.
The pink is overwhelming. Like, that is
Oh
so
my
much
lord,
pink.
dude. What the
Okay,
crap?
Agro, I have a very on-the-spot request, but could you show us the face while he's big?
Yes. You're gonna have to ulti again and then camera.
Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Nice.
Yes! Oh!
Got like the blush
this is
lines and
glorious.
everything.
Yeah,
Oh,
go
and
Oh,
down.
so
The
cute.
rainbow tornado is incredible.
Wow.
He's so
More
angry,
screens,
he's
man. That's
so
what I was
angry.
thinking too, dude. Look at all that.
Oh my
you see how
gosh.
it's like
Thank you for
radiating off
that,
him?
first and
He's
foremost.
bad enough
no.
as
Oh,
it
he
is,
broke
man.
it.
They just added. My daughter will love
Well, I
that.
guess
Yeah,
on that
I'm sure.
note,
I bet you,
let's
Ice,
move
I
on
bet you
to
she
the
will.
next, the final reward for the Odyssey, Searing Seductress Soul.
Oh, wow.
Quite the tone shift.
Quite the
wow.
tone shift.
Okay.
That hair, though.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How's
that
it going?
looks nice.
Nice to meet you.
Literally me in the left, on the back left there, just like, oh, okay, yeah, go ahead, no problem.
That looks nice.
Call me.
And that'll be me on the back right. So
All right, cool. We got it. Yeah. Oh, man.
Dang, that soul.
That
Oh my
soul.
gosh.
I love too how you get kind of the not only the fiery effect beneath her, but also
That
on
looks
like her
actually
legs
pretty
there, where it
good, man. That
transitions
looks
from,
actually
like,
pretty
The
sweet.
dark to the lighter,
Yep.
you get kind of like that fiery effect.
I don't know
Oh,
why they
that's so
keep
great.
giving them
Yeah, we
high
have a
heels.
couple
Who the
of
hell
human
fights?
soul
What god do you
skins,
ever
but I
see
think this one
fighting
kind
high
of,
heels? But hey,
has to
man,
take the
it looks
cake.
pretty sweet.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I absolutely love this. All the fiery effects too to really pay homage to the fact that it's soul. So let's hear the voice line.
That's
Another
probably
day,
one of the nicest
another
one they showed so
pathetic
far.
immortal falling right into my grasp. Isn't it delightful?
Yeah, that's a
Hi,
nice
it's
one.
me, the pathetic mortal.
Yeah,
Right in your
true.
grasp, gotcha.
Yeah, let's
Look
call
at the
this- I'm
the
pathetic
flames
mortal.
on her legs. They move.
Yeah, so super exciting, and that will be the last of the rewards. Which all of the rewards will be available day 1, August 23rd, which is next week. So super close.
Dang.
Next up, another day 1
Yeah, this
skin
one's a good
available
one.
for us.
I like this one.
Is the Odyssey chest skin, and this one is Kukulkan.
Oh,
wow.
my
This
What
is
goodness.
art. Wait,
the crap?
this is the actual art. Oh my
This
god.
is a card art and a
This
card
is
art.
amazing.
Yeah, it's box art
Actually,
and card.
so cool with the Thanatos as well.
Yeah.
What?
What's that?
Rat's Oscar's looking for breakfast.
What?
I love this so much.
I love the text in the box as well.
So
An
first,
important
Snoop
part of
Dogg
a
gets
balanced meta.
Snoopy Loops or whatever the hell
hadn't
his
even
new
noticed
cereal
that
is,
until
and now
right
we
now.
Kukulkan gets his own cereal
110
too.
grams of kills.
I'm literally going to
Oh
be
my
going back through
God.
and reading through every
Snoopy
bit of
Loops.
this.
Oh,
Okay, so we did like the shader tag. Very
Yeah.
Oh, it's a cartoon.
Wow,
one.
this is just so different from how he normally is. He's got the little like arms. Oh, he's cute.
So cute.
It's
The
definitely
chocolate
different.
poofs underneath.
Definitely
just
different.
Absolutely adorable.
Yeah, that is a cereal mascot.
That is a cereal mascot. Let's hear the voice line.
Soon, the whole world will be addicted to my cuckoo crunch. My plan to take over the world is working.
Okay, that's amazing. He's like an evil
Oh,
mascot that's using
man.
his cereal plans to take over
Yeah,
the
they
world.
should have called it
Oh,
Cuckoo
man.
I'm
Puffs.
very happy with
Yeah.
this.
I think
that
they should have
is
called it Cuckoo Puffs instead of Cuckoo
I
Crunch or
cannot
whatever the
get
crap
over
they
that.
said.
All right. So I'm in love with this, and again, that's going to
Cuckoo
be
Puffs,
part
I
of
think, would've been
the
better.
Odyssey chest. So next up
But
in
they
the
probably would've
Odyssey,
got
these
sued
are
or
skins
something
that will
from
be available
Kellogg's.
with the bonus update. So September 6th, and the first of these two skins is Cryptid Death Anubis.
Oh,
Okay.
that is some card art, dude. With
That's-
the hands all around.
That's big spooky.
Yo, shout out to the
at the
artist on
dude-
this
look at
one.
the dude
This
coming
is
out of the
so
grave.
cool.
True.
Or getting sucked
Oh.
down into the
It's grasping hands
underworld.
all
That's what
around
he's
it
doing.
too,
They're
right? Like,
Yeah.
pulling him
Oh, yeah.
down.
It's coming off. That's very cool.
That's horrifying. I don't know. I just keep looking at the skull. Oh,
Oh, wow.
I like that.
Yeah,
I
very
like
scary.
that.
We have a thing this patch, I guess, with scary.
And you know what I like about the skin the most? Is
Yeah.
they
Scary,
didn't
scary,
ruin it with a
scary.
big ass lollipop.
Yeah, still a horror.
All
don't
the
take away
good
from it.
skins they were
But,
doing, they put that
super
stupid
excited
big
for this. Let's hear
lollipop
the
on his
voice line.
staff, and it blinds you on one side. You can't use it.
I am hungry.
Just get you some cuckoo puffs.
Okay.
I was gonna say you would do really
Not
well
bad,
with
not
Bancroft's
bad.
claw. So the claw hungers, you're hungry.
true.
You know, it goes all together.
If anything, I'm actually a little less
Not
scared
too
now.
excited
voice
about the
was
thing on his
horrifying,
back,
the
but I mean,
movie
it
was
doesn't look
relatable,
bad
so
at all.
That's how I
pretty
start
good.
most of my mornings, actually. So
I don't have too many
well, that's
Anubis
super
skins.
cool. So next up, the second skin coming with to
But
the
I
Odyssey
really
with
like
the
that they
bonus
didn't ruin
update
it
on
with a big
September
old
6th is
lollipop, dude.
Cryonic
I
Demon
hate that.
Ymir.
My
Let's see
favorite
what you
one
guys
is
got
that
for us.
Gatling gun one, and
Oh.
I can't play it
Oh.
'cause it blinds me.
Oh,
when
he's
you-
got like little hands.
Dude, that looks
inside
pretty
his
tight,
chest.
too.
He has chest hands.
Still scary, and a dude and his hammer. I
Wait,
guess?
Wait,
crap?
really?
It looks like there's feet and knees
Oh,
there.
oh
that's so
no.
creepy.
Oh goodness me. Okay. All right.
We're just on the horror. 9.8 is the horror up
Yeah,
there.
you use the skin against me and you instantly win.
Whoa, okay.
Oh, that's
Whoa.
awesome.
All the details
that
came
looks
out
pretty,
so well.
interesting.
into the
They
model.
did.
Wow.
That definitely
Kudos
looks
to the
interesting.
3D artist team there.
Holy. There's just so much like detail in this skin
Yeah.
that I'm very shocked.
For real,
Again,
look at the- look
if
at
you
the
pick
skin
your
on
skin
his
against
arm.
me, you insta win based on intimidation factor.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
That's, my
that's,
internet Oops. scenario.
That's definitely pretty cool.
Textures and materials on this are just fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can't
they did
see
a
Oh,
really
you
good
can't
job
see
on
the
that one.
dude.
Look how the metal almost
He's
looks
like
like
very
real
comfortable
metal,
in
dude.
there.
The shading on that metal looks
all right,
really
let's
nice,
hear the
dude.
voice
They
line.
did a really good job on this one.
Death is only the beginning.
And his sound doesn't sound stupid, so that's really good. They actually did a good job on this one.
Hands.
Only the
The
beginning.
hands.
The hands.
Okay,
Dude,
well,
that dude
cool.
that's frozen
so,
in his
on that
hammer, that's
horrifying
just-
note, let's
that's
I guess
just
continue to
nasty,
move into
son.
more horror. Next up is what I am most excited about for this new Odyssey, new Tier 5 skin. This Tier 5 skin is the the big final reward, the final earn for this. And this Tier 5 skin is called Crow of Torment Hades. Let's check it out.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
That is super awesome.
They already
gosh,
get.
that looks
Doesn't Hades already have
Yeah,
a tier
I guess
5
those are his two
skin?
forms right there.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna say.
so he's
dude
the
and big
little
dude.
the little guy and the big guy.
Dude,
is what
that's
I'm
some
saying.
garbage.
Well,
They
best
should have
of
gave
both
Nox
worlds.
Oh,
or
man.
Really has
freaking
growth
Zeus.
right there. God, yeah, this continues just to be a horrifying patch.
But in the best way possible.
Well, yeah,
you know?
like great content, just great scary content.
Okay,
Oh,
so there's
okay.
there's the one we saw on the left.
He has
Yeah.
a little
It
bird
does look
friend.
pretty
That's
good.
a little bird friend. I love all that inky black too. That's incredible.
Dude, what is it with these
Yeah, it
people and
looks like
sticking
he's got
stuff on their
some,
back
like,
like that, man?
goopiness going on under there. Like
Yeah, what's that?
he normally doesn't have legs,
I like
right?
that
But
staff,
like this
though.
is
That
like
staff
he's part
looks
of the
really,
ground.
really
He's coming
cool.
out of the ground.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that. You're right. It's
Oh, he
literally
doesn't
like
have a tier 5?
These not tendrils. I don't know
They're
what
kind of
to
like
call it.
tendrils.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
It
absolutely
looks pretty
incredible.
good.
So,
I like that
mean,
staff, dude.
so
That
much to
staff
talk
looks
about here,
sick.
but I'm just excited to see
I'm not
this.
too
Can
keen
we
on
get
his
the voice line
back.
for
They
this
always
one?
like
The
putting
voice
crap
line
on his
so
back that looks like arms, man. They need to get off that.
Is coming.
So cool how they keep calling them. Like you don't have to spend $50 to get them. Glenn's with, I know, right?
Scary.
That's what I was
mean,
thinking.
I don't know what else to add to that.
Yeah, paralyzed.
They are
computer over
earns.
here. I'm
They're
not really
earning your
sure
money.
What to say
Yeah, I was
there.
about to say. I'm
earning
excited
your
to see
gems.
this because there's a lot about this, and I'm going to get into it. But I'm excited for us to be able to dive in game and take a look at this.
It doesn't look that bad, dude. It looks pretty good.
Ooh, I love
There
that.
he is.
Am
He's
I
so
gonna spend
intimidating with
50
the,
bucks
like,
on this
red
or 80
eyes
bucks
staring
on
at
this?
you
Hell
from
no.
Under the hood.
He is, and remember, this is only
I don't
the
really
first
play.
form.
I don't really
Oh,
play.
yeah, you're
Hades,
right.
though, that's
Okay.
why.
Look at those, yeah. Look at those.
That
abilities.
Izanami, dude. As soon as
Whoa,
it went
that
live, dude,
targeter.
they
Oh
got
my God, he's just-
my
he's
8,000
gooped
gems.
up.
He's all cooped up.
This
Oh,
one,
why did I know you were gonna say that?
not so
I feel
much.
like you were prepping us earlier. Oh wow.
Yeah, that inky black is incredible.
I do like
Dude,
that color though.
That
Those
targeter
effects
is.
are really
Those targeters.
Oh,
are
that looks
insane.
nice.
Yeah, they're insane. And just all the colors
Oh,
too.
and
There's
you
so
can
much
see
depth.
the
colors look
sludge
nice.
rise up while he's ulting too.
That is so freaky.
I'll take it.
The black
Yeah,
hue
I mean,
reminds
yeah.
me of Venom.
Aw,
Yeah, it does,
look at
doesn't it?
that
It does
bird.
look
And then
like
this is
something
one of the
Venom.
parts about the skin.
Oh.
The skybox, whenever you play
Oh,
this
that's
skin,
pretty
is
cool.
permanently edited to have crows. It's darkness and crows all through
That's
the sky.
pretty cool.
That's a lot of
That's
crows.
definitely
The
pretty
Crow
cool.
of Torment brings
So
forth the
many.
army of crows. So
Oh, look at
all
the-
these
the
incredible
blood and stuff that
animations.
falls
I mean,
off
you
the
have
staff,
VXG,
too. That's pretty
back
cool,
anima-
dude.
like,
That's pretty
brand
cool.
new animations throughout the entire thing.
Am I gonna buy it? No.
you know.
He's got like phantom
No.
crows as
I'm
well.
not spending $50 on that
Yeah,
or
a lot of work
$60,
bringing in these crows,
$80.
So
No.
super excited. And
Oh,
then
there we go.
Oh
the
my
evolution
God.
where you turn into the giant crow
What the
monster.
crap is that?
Now, one thing
Oh.
that is so freaky, the way he comes out all jet black and like inky.
Just the way he's animating while he's moving around. He's
What
like using
the
that
crap?
massive arm, his left arm's like dragging.
He's pretty good in
forwards.
arena. I feel
Oh,
like
That's
he can
terrifying.
fly.
And now he
And
can
he
fly.
he's
fly.
good in
All right,
arena
all
if
right.
you know
My
how to build
nightmares.
him.
Listen.
He's very difficult to
Yeah.
use because a
I
lot
mean,
of his
there's so many
attacks
things to
are
talk
like
about here.
melee
One thing
ranged
is that there are
attacks,
so
so
many
he's
like
very
crows are
susceptible to
incorporated into
CC.
so many aspects of this. That was something
if
that
you
our
build
effects
him right,
teams
he's a
and
beast,
artists really put their heart into was making sure that crows were always a part of these
That's the
animations
special
in
for
one
the
way or
skin,
another.
yeah.
Another super cool thing to note is
I mean,
that
it's okay. Is it
like all of the
$80
abilities
4K?
are
Not
are
in my opinion.
just custom animations.
Not
I
in
was
my
choking on
opinion.
my words there.
That looks
like,
cool,
They
don't
did
get me
so
wrong.
many custom animations,
But I don't think it's
especially for
$80
this form,
cool.
that are just so wildly different from what Hades usually has to really showcase that this. I mean, it's a transformation completely.
But heck, if
All
you're
of the
a
animations
Hades
have been
main,
changed.
hey,
you
that's
still get
probably
that persistent
perfect for you.
skybox. You still get all that other stuff, but I mean, just the detail in all these animations is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really have
they
anything
definitely
else
did
like
some
this
work
in
on it.
Smite.
I'm
There's
not gonna
no
lie.
crazy creature that walks around with one gigundo hand and a big old staff, and one bird wing and one skeleton bird wing, and now he's flying and into my nightmares. And oh god, there's crows in the sky.
Yeah, there's just so many things about this skin which are incredible. I mean, and it really personifies that whole monstrous transformation. Like, you start off, as still a super creepy dude. Like, I love that goop effect we were talking about, and the effects already look good.
Wow.
Even like, obviously there's so much going on with the model, but one of the wings is more like fleshed out with the feathers. The other one's kind of just decrepit over there. That's really cool. That's a really cool detail.
Yeah, I love the contrast.
I don't know about that oil thing though. I mean,
it's a super
what's up with
exciting
the oil
skin.
stuff?
It has
Are they trying to
it was a total overhaul. They
save the
teams
planet,
worked so
or
closely
trying to
together
show that the
between
planet is
animation,
saved? I don't
effects,
understand
the
the oil
artist, to really
concept.
make sure that the crow theme was the darkness and crow theme was present throughout the entire
But whatever,
skin.
dude. Like I said, it
it
looks
really
cool.
lends
It
itself
looks
to
cool.
all of those themes incredibly
I can't
well.
hate
wait
on
to
it. It looks
see
cool.
all of the different maps with that crow effect too, because how intimidating is that? Like, this is the first skin that has a persistent throughout from the moment you load in to the moment the game is over effect that alters the environment in some way, and it's just incredible to look at. So this is actually again the T5 for the Odyssey, and the easiest way to get this is to hit the buy now all
just hit the buy now.
Again,
$80. Come on, you got it in
I'm
you.
losing my
Come
sense of
on.
speech.
It's only $80
but
bucks.
It's super great, and you can do it right
The
away.
only good
very
thing
beginning
that
of
might
the
come
event,
out of this
and
is usually
it's
when they have a
honestly
tier
incredible
5
how much
skin that
stuff
comes
you
out
get.
like
There's
this, they
all
do
of
a
the
gem
cosmetics
sale.
throughout the event that you can
So
earn.
that'll allow me
But not
to
only
buy
that,
some
you are
gems
going to
because I
get
need
a
to buy
total
some
of
gems.
20
I'm running low. I think I got
if
like
you buy all.
700
So
some
that's
gems left.
all of the stuff that you've seen up to this point.
So
Are
we
things
might
that
get a
you'll
gem
get.
sale
Some
on
of them,
Tuesday,
don't
so
come out until
we'll
the bonus
see.
update. So you're
I'll
gonna
let
have to
y'all
wait for
know
that,
if we do.
obviously. But buy all is going to get you, Cthulhu. It's going to get you that skin, the Hades skin. It's going to get you bun hats, Seductress
Do you
Soul,
think the
Fairy
people
Nuwa,
being
the Shiva skin,
shown
all of
this
those right
in
away.
studio
And
with the high risk
up to
guy
20
have
total
the
skins
script?
throughout the entirety of this
A
event,
lot
which
of
is
the
a ton of
reactions
skins.
seem-
Like
That's
20
a lot.
skins.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
dude.
literally
Everything's
throughout
scripted.
updates, you're just going to be
Everything's
getting
scripted.
stuff
You
on
can
and
see
on
the
and on. And
paper in
that's
their
what the buy
hand.
all option does for you. It gets you.
Heck, I remember when we
Torment,
did
Hades
did one of these
right up
watch
front,
parties, and
then
he actually
all of that
read
other stuff throughout
his,
the entire
the reaction that he was
Odyssey's going
supposed
to
to
be
do.
around for several updates. It's a really long event.
One of the
So every
guys
time
that
content
was
comes
away for a
out,
while came back.
It's yours.
So yeah,
And that is the
everything's
cool thing about the
scripted,
buy
man.
all. And again, it's
Everything's
16
scripted.
skins plus those.
That's why it looks so
four,
robotic when they
reward
talk
skins that
sometimes
we
and when
went
they
over.
react
So
to it.
Super big there, super awesome, and definitely.
Of course they are. They're
going to
overhype everything. Of course they are. It's a business, man. You can't hate on them. It's a business. You got to make
right
money.
around the corner. Yeah,
you got to get paid, son. You got to get paid.
Be like, yeah, next week.
That's just like our channel.
So,
We got to get
super
paid,
exciting.
son. That's
So,
why I love it when you guys do those
runs us through all of our
gifted
skins, I think.
memberships and those
incredible and kind of
super chats and all that crap.
horrifying.
son.
Just a little. Sweating a
People
little
gotta
more
get
than I
paid,
was
so you
before
can't
we
hate on
started. But there's one more thing we have to talk
But
about.
they ain't get
There
my
is one
money
more
this
thing,
time
and I think
around,
we'll
dude.
get to it
I'm
right
sorry.
after this video.
That skin is pretty cool, but it ain't $80 cool.
Rated
Okay, here we
T
go.
for
Here we
teen.
go. What we got?
She's here.
Your baby's mama. You never called me back.
What was it you used to say to me?
All is fair in love and war. Now, let's see how you fare.
There's that fan attack. Yeah, did you guys? If you guys saw my last video, there's history behind them too. He wanted to kick it with him, and she had a history of everybody that she got with that something bad happened to him. So Gilgamesh was like, "Nah, son, I don't want nothing to do with you." So she got pissed off and sent the bull of heaven after him to kill him.
And Lermy, how about you run us through it? Like,
So they got some drama, man.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, so Ishtar is the goddess of love and war in Smite, and she also has another title being the Queen of
fertility.
Heaven. So Ishtar as a character is this kind of very strong feminine figure throughout the entirety of the Babylonian mythos. And so she basically, her entire deal is that she wants to conquer as much as possible.
She's
So
crazy.
she goes
She's
on
chicken
various quests, finding other various gods and taking them down. And actually featured in the trailer there for her is her conflict with Gilgamesh, which is a really, really big part of her lore.
See,
Is that one of the most famous Babylonian texts that exists, period, is the Epic of Gilgamesh. And so the reason that Gilgamesh actually goes on his quest which all starts basically back with Ishtar, who approaches him, basically courts him and says, hey, let's get married.
Yeah.
He obviously has heard of Ishtar before, and so he knows that Ishtar is, while she's really representative of a lot of really powerful feminine traits, including being a goddess of love, she's more of a love in an intimate way, not so much the cutesy, Cupid or Aphrodite way that we all come to know. Instead, she basically uses, she wants to use Gilgamesh basically for his power. But what happens is Gilgamesh says, hey, I've heard about you before, and you don't have the best track record when it comes to men.
See, I told you.
So,
Gilgamesh hit it and quit
and
it,
so
boy.
Ishtar gets very pissed. She does not really take the
called her
rejection
back.
very well, and so she actually goes to On, the god of the sky, and he says, hey, look, I know that you're upset right now. I'm going to help you out.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the Bull of Heaven, which is this mythical creature. And so what she does then is she sicks the Bull of Heaven on Gilgamesh and his friend Enkidu. And then that basically, it doesn't directly lead to Enkidu's death, but what happens is Gilgamesh and Enkidu fend off the Bull of Heaven. And they try to fight back at Ishtar by actually taking the leg of the bull and throwing it at him. And so, by disrespecting the gods, it ends up in getting Enkidu killed, which then sends Gilgamesh on his quest for immortality.
Ooh.
It is a deep story.
Yeah, we got the lore.
Yeah, we've got the rundown on what brought her to that point, but there are various other stories about her going on conquest, like going to the underworld and trying to take that over from her sister.
So what happened was she hit it, quit it, never called her
she
back,
really
and
will
she
do
went off
anything
and
for
keyed his
power.
car. That's
Sounds
what happened.
like it. I mean, let's check out the card art real quick. I want to
Oh
see
yes,
it so bad.
please. And this card art is absolutely gorgeous. One of the things that you'll notice is that there's a lot of symbolism in her design, whether it's the horned crown throughout, all of Babylonian mythos. Gods tend to have this kind of crown, which have horns in them. And, the more horns that they have, it tends to be symbolic of how powerful they are. So we've got the horns going on. We've got the bow. Obviously, she's shown to be this armed to the teeth goddess with different kinds of weapons. So you see that she has a bow. She has some swords on her back. And, of course, the lions as well.
Yeah.
She's got some relations to, of course, storms, and so storms are said to have
the horns
roar
are
of
trying to represent
lions,
the
just like
bull of
the
heaven,
noise
to
that
tell
they
you the
make. So
truth,
of course,
but
there's
whatever.
connections to lions, connections to storms, and you'll see a
No
little bit
picture
more
I
of that
saw
in her
with
kit
her
as
in
well.
her history
And then
had
another
horns
small
on her
detail
head.
in this card that I do want to point out is you'll see some scorpion tails on the ground. So On, that god that she went to go ask for the Bull of Heaven, well, she fought him too, even though he helped her. And so during that fight, On turned into a giant scorpion, and she slew him. So that's why there's scorpions all over the ground.
She an unstoppable force of nature, this one.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh wow, and there it is in game.
And here we are in game. Another really cool, important thing to point out here is that she is kind of decked out in various materials. So she's got the cloth going on, she's got the leather.
She looks like a reskin
she's got
Artemis,
various
dude.
metals and jewelry. She's very blinged out, right? She loves to be the center of attention, but she's also very tactical. She's agile. Her whole idea is to basically move in and out of fight, in and out of combat as much as possible, and so this kind of getup is what gets it done.
She looks nice, but she just looks like Artemis in a new skin.
Dressed to impress. So,
Absolutely.
Literally the best of both worlds there, and I can't stop staring at the arrow. By the way, that is
It's
the arrow's
so cool.
tantalizing. Let's hear the voice line.
It's been so long since I felt the sweet bliss of battle. My blood is pumping just thinking about it.
I mean, literally the attitude to match. Like ready to get into the battleground and wreak some havoc. And what better thing to do after hearing that than go into the battleground and let her wreak some havoc? Let's check this out in game.
All right, let's go.
Yes.
Here we go.
Oh,
Let's
there
see.
she is.
Let's
she
see what
is,
we got.
she's got the power pose going on.
Yeah.
She's just waiting for some enemy to show up so she can beat them up.
Sweet.
She's twirling the arrow around.
What an awesome idle animation.
Her idols are really, really cool. But one thing actually to point out here is that you can see just in her stance and how she's walking, she has a very unique strafe animation where she's not actually turning back and forth. She's always ready. She's got her bow in her hand, ready to shoot. And so she's just hanging on to it at all times and not turning. So we did some really cool special treatments to her strafes. And we'll be getting into
Looks
that a
like
little
her
bit more
range
when we
is
get
not
into
that
her
far.
kit.
Awesome. Well, before we get into the
I
kit,
was gonna say bow hunter as well. When's the last
Yes.
time we've had a bow hunter?
It's been so
a while.
long. Maybe Hachiman was the last one?
I think so.
Wow.
5 years.
That's
I think.
been a long
So-
time.
But let's
5 years.
yeah, right. That hurts to say out loud. Let's just get a showcase of the kit. Let's
do
see
it.
it all at once. Lay it on us. Let's see the kit.
Straight line attack. AoE, AoE.
Send them to the underworld.
All right. As always.
So she has a reverse soul attack.
You see all of that and you're like, that looked really cool.
That's insane.
I don't know what any of that was. That's what we're here for. That's what we're ready to break down.
We do.
Yeah. So let's just start off with the basic attack. So, I mean, super cool basic attack. You got the bow shot. We haven't seen arrows in a long time. And even still, these arrows are incredible. They're like these lightning arrows, I guess?
They're kind of lightning. They're also kind of holy energy. Because remember, she's the queen of heaven. So what she's doing is she's kind of harnessing this heavenly... Again, kind of lightning-y energy because she's got that throwback to the storms with the lions and things like that. So it's kind of a combination of lightning and holy energy that she's shooting.
Like holy energy lightning arrow. Okay, well, that's cool.
For some reason, she looks like she has short range.
Let's get into the passive then. I see the little marker there for it, which looks fantastic. The passive is called Mark of Vengeance. What's that about?
Yeah, so again, Ishtar is kind of a vengeful goddess. When people piss her off, she's going to fight back. So how this works is that anytime that you get beneath 75% health, the passive will trigger. And so what that means is it's going to mark the enemy that most recently hit you. And it's going to show a big old star above their head. It's actually the star of Ishtar, this 8-pointed star that you see here. That's the marker. And so what happens is every single time that you auto-attack them, you get attack speed up to a stat cap. And then when you kill them, during that point, you also get movement speed. But again, it has to be while the passive's active, and you'll see there that the gem actually in your passive meter fills back up as it's returning back to cooldown. So it only happens when that center gem is full. And again, you'll see it's activated now because she's under 75%.
Yeah.
And then if she kills him, which we're throwing at everything there, now we've got the movement speed.
Okay, that's super cool, and I love the visual cooldown reminder right there because I
so
saw
she's
not
pretty
only
much getting
when it was
Lantius
red,
bow buff.
It showed you the face of who it was that you were getting vengeance on.
So she's getting
and
a
how
standard
long you
Lantius
had
bow
for
buff.
vengeance,
She kills
but
him,
then
she gets the
showing
movement
you when
speed.
the cool. That's just incredible.
Right,
I absolutely love that.
The no penalty.
Yes, and again, just to emphasize, it is kill or assist
Kinda.
on the marked target will give you the movement speed, but you have to hit with basic attacks to get the attack speed.
Got it. Well, that is super cool, and again, just what a great visual effect for that. I also love the like overhead thing.
Yeah, I also saw like her horns glowing and stuff there.
Yes, there's actually very special effects treatments going on across your kit, but you'll notice that you have the attack speed when your bow is glowing in the center, and then also when her horns glow is how you know that you have that passive attack speed going on.
Super cool. All right, well, cool. And yeah, I guess we'll just...
There it is.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
that, and it shows a picture
of
on your freaking above your avatar.
So many things to dig into. Next up, we have ability 1 called Imbue Arrows. So there's a little more to this ability than meets the eye, I think.
It's almost like a King Arthur.
So you'll notice that this is not a regular ability one,
toggle
might say.
the one,
it is
and then you got three other attacks, or almost like a
switch.
Morgan
You're not
Le
really
Fay.
switching stances. You instead are switching your auto attack. So as you'll notice, when you press 1, your abilities 1, 2, and 3 are going to swap to different icons. And so there are actually 3 different basic attack types that you'll have besides just your main form of shooting. And I think let's start off with the variation at the
now,
first
the cool thing is if you hit one, if it stays on that type of shot the whole time.
So this is a lob shot
like a lob.
that basically creates this strike in an area of effect, which is great.
but it
and
only
so
lasts
each
so
of these
long,
kind
and
of
then it
have their
reverts.
own different use case. Strike shot has bonus damage on it in this area. It can also be shot over walls, but the trade-off for it is that you deal less crit damage when you use this stance. So lob, bonus damage, less crit damage, but also over wall.
That is super cool. All right, well, now I have to know what the next one is. So what's the next imbued arrow?
Yes, the next one is called Spreadshot, and so Spreadshot is in a cone. And so basically this will shoot out 5 projectiles. The center one will still be doing 100% of your basic attack damage, and the other ones will be doing less. But yeah, the whole idea is that the closer that you are to someone, the more arrows that you're shooting at once,
pretty much a ranged golden
the more
blade.
damage you'll be doing.
That is so cool. I love that too, because tank comes up to get in your face, you have a pretty solid high damage response.
Yeah, it's a ranged golden blade.
Yes, and one important thing to note about this is that Spreadshot only procs item effects on the center arrow. So you're not getting 5 chin size, you're not getting 5 Xyz.
That makes sense.
Good to know. Good to know.
You're only getting 1 from that center arrow.
Got it. So you still have to, be accurate, but you're doing a bunch on the side too, even if you're not perfectly accurate. That's really cool.
Exactly.
So I believe there is one more imbued arrow.
Yes, the last one is called Storm Shot, and so this one is a long-range snipe. And how this works and what the trade-offs are with this is that the shot will of course go farther. That's your advantage. You're doing less damage is the other kind of trade-off for this, but your projectile speed is actually increased by 20%. So if these guys move faster, they go farther, but they deal less damage.
That's the question. Can they crit?
Oh, they go so fast. They go so fast.
That is so cool. So for one, that's one ability we just talked about.
Yeah, that was one.
That's what I want to know. Can that ability crit?
I love all of
if
the
that can crit, that would be
you know?
pretty smooth.
Like there are some that are going to help you
if
for
it doesn't crit,
looking
then
around
why
a
even
fire
use it?
giant or around a major objective. There are some that are going to help you for clearing lane.
I'll find out
if
this
there's a
weekend
team fight
if she
happening
goes
over
to
the
the
wall,
PTS.
what could it hurt to lob some arrows over there and see what happens? I really do love that you have all of this variety here.
Yeah, of
and
course.
It's incredibly exciting.
Yeah, and one important thing here that our driver is showing off is that none of these hit structures. So basically, you can't hit towers from outside the range. You also can't destroy things like Terra Pillar or Donjaburo Bottle or anything like that. And that's just consistent across all of our other sims that change your basic attack in some way. That's just how they work.
You saw with
so all of
Scylla,
that
when you use her 2 and it drops it, you have to hit again to ignite,
and yeah, that's Imbue Arrows.
Doesn't go off.
That is literally ability
so
1.
This might be troubling
so
if we have any type of lag, having to double click on items or on abilities to make them work. It could be pretty troubling.
So this one is, you'll see there's a bunch of circles there. So how this works is that Ishtar calls down 4 strikes of lightning that proceed in a line. But the cool thing about this is you can decide which way you want the lightning strikes to proceed, either going from Ishtar and out, or coming out towards Ishtar. And so each of these circles does damage, but the other exciting part about this ability is that if an enemy god is hit by more than one of these, they are mesmerized. So your whole goal with this is to try to use this kind of as your zoning ability to keep people kind of in this line, and of course to set up for your other abilities with that mez.
Yeah.
How long is the mez?
That is super cool, and I love the fact that you can have it come from behind as well. Because if you're getting chased really hard, throw it out from you. You know, it gives the like.
What about her
it shows the
ultimate?
enemy
They
what
haven't
you're
got
doing.
to it
They
yet.
have to react
this
to it,
is
like
our
you said,
number
good
2
zoning.
thus far,
But
because
if
our
you're
number
trying to
1
start
had
engaging
multiple
lane or
ones.
something,
Now they're talking about our number 2.
Behind them. Maybe they won't see it coming because that's behind them. They'll hear it,
Yep.
but you get the drop on them and you get to start your engage on the upper hand. I think that's really, really cool.
Definitely like in playtest when you're boxing on another hunter. If I like playing a little more on the passive side, so as soon as I see them kind of like getting ready to approach me, I drop behind them and just stop.
It's definitely
it's like I got you.
Different.
Dangerously diffuse the situation.
Exactly.
I absolutely love
I want to
that.
know how long the mez is. It doesn't look like it's very long.
It's
It looks like it's like a 1 second mez.
Jolt.
Yeah, so Jolt is Ishtar's movement ability, and so how this works is she basically dashes in a line. And does damage.
That's
Great. That's it. Okay.
So
there is one other thing that this ability does that makes it incredibly exciting, and you'll notice that there's a circle that pops up when he's hovered over Odin. And go ahead and fire that. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So there is a conditional backflip on this ability that only goes off if you hit a god. And how this works is you'll see that there's that extra circle that pops up. That circle is actually doing basic attack damage in an AoE.
The thing about that is,
so that can crit, that can apply item effects.
So when you land,
and it's on that little AoE. So
she's
got some powerful tools if she decides to go aggressive.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
That's going to be OP in arena, dude.
Auto attack damage. You can see it looks like
that's
she's firing the bow off upside down.
Because if you did that attack and landed right in front of a guardian, you're going to get your butt handed to you.
Oh my god.
So that's pretty good that it pushes you back. So.
All right, shout out to you, Ishtar.
Yeah, the other important thing to note is that no matter how close that you hit an enemy, you always go back the same exact amount of units. So do keep that in mind when playing against Ishtar, that she's always going to the same spot, no matter where she's hitting.
Got it. So whether it's max range or whether you're right in their face, you're still backflipping that same distance.
Yep.
So if you're not trying to put distance between yourself, maybe save the backflip for to try.
Dude, that could be a pretty good escape.
All right, so next up and finally, we have the ult, Blades of Retribution.
Yes, so this ability is really her teamfight tool. As you can see, it's a big old cone, and what happens is that she'll fire out 5 swords of light. And so on the way out, these swords are going to do damage. Each of them does their own individual damage, but if you're hit by multiple, they get reduced. So, you're not going to get blown up if you're in point blank range. Each additional hit gets reduced up to a certain amount. But on the way out, if you're hit by these swords, you are crippled. So that's really her big team fight play, is throwing out the swords and crippling people. But when she calls them back, that's when things get exciting, because if you've been hit by the cripple already and Ishtar calls back the swords and you get hit again, then you're stunned. So then you're really in trouble.
Yeah, really a hard time.
Right there using the cripple debuff, and then on the way back,
so it's a CC.
Yeah, exactly.
Does it do damage?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks
Yeah,
like
it does
you
do
can kind
damage.
of choose. Like there's a timer of when they come back, but you can also choose.
So
when you want them
does
to come
damage
back.
out
Yeah,
and
so
does
you do have
damage
the
coming
ability
back?
to refire it and kind of call them back whenever you want. And some really cool plays have been done with this ability in playtests where
So
people
the
have
closer
moved
you are,
in
the more
different
damage you're
positions
gonna
when
do
their
because more
arrows
of the
come
blades,
out,
it fans out.
and called them back at certain different places and things of that nature. You can also shoot this over walls. So there have definitely been some sneaky Ishtar plays over in our playtests.
That's pretty
and,
unique, man.
I
That's
really can't
definitely
wait to
pretty
see what
unique.
you guys do with this ability
sure.
too, because it's
Looks
so
really
fun
weak.
to be able
Yeah.
to just throw out these swords. And as you'll
Dude, but the
notice,
sneak
they
attack on
all
that, you
have
throw
this,
that on one
marker
side of
at
the
her
minion
feet
wall, run around
showing
to the other
where
side of the minion wall, and then
the,
pull it back on you?
Swords are going to come from. So
Or even better,
there's also
do it
some on the
inside
swords
your
themselves,
base,
but yeah, you
run
can see it on your
outside,
feet. And then if we
pull
have
them out.
our driver dash up to the swords, you can see
Yeah,
as
you can do
well
some
that
sneaky attacks.
on the swords there is that little beam of light showing which direction they're going to go.
But I think you're right. We have to
I mean,
see how
also
good
worth
they are,
noting,
right?
as
How
y'all are
damaging
seeing
they are.
actively,
The CC
you can use
aspect
abilities
looks
in the middle
like
of
it's going to be
this.
pretty
Oh,
strong.
yeah.
Just to start a fight,
good
switch to
for
the shotgun
low health
arrow or
people trying
call
to
down
get
the
away. Yeah,
lightning
for
and,
sure.
do a backflip and then bring them back all in one swift combo. So a lot of good. I mean, even
That
team,
stun looks like it
starting the
lasts a
team fight
pretty
potential
good
by
amount. It looks
throwing
like it's
those
like a
out,
1.5,
backflipping
2
off
second
somebody
stun.
to get that distance and pulling them back.
I'm going to have
as
to
you
see
do
what the numbers
Yeah,
are.
if you
on
pull
them.
them back while you're backflipping, they go to the last valid location that you were at.
it
So your last
cripples
valid
going out,
location
it stuns
is the
coming
enemy
back.
player that's stuck there. So
Nice.
that's a guaranteed 5-hit if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, what a great combo. So I mean, just in playthroughs and with y'all having tested this,
Dude, that's
how
a
do you
pretty
think
sick
you'll
combo,
end up
dude.
better?
That
You
is a
gonna come
pretty
in
sick
feeling that
combo
high
right
damage?
there.
Like, what are y'all excited to see from this?
That's
on
pretty
Valve?
nasty, son.
Yeah,
They
I
just
think
showed
she's
us
going
the
to be a
combo
super
to
fun
use right
hunter.
here.
I'm really excited to see how people use her various forms of Imbue Arrows and all those different shots. And I think I really can't wait to
Again,
see
the
people
only thing
manage
that I'm
to cook
afraid
up
of
with
is
Blades
the
of
fact that you
Retribution
have to
too,
double
because
click
they,
on the
that ability
keyboard.
goes hard.
And right
That's all I
now,
can
the
say.
way that the lag and all that, that could that could be very troubling. One bit of lag is going to keep you from being able to bring those things back quick enough. We're already seeing this
Ooh,
with
this backing
Sylvanas.
animation too.
So that's the only thing I'm
Look
worried
at
about.
her. Pulling out the swords and everything. Yeah, as you can see, she does use her swords in various animations, whether that's pulling them out for the ultimate, and her backing animation, she does it as well. And then even in her dash, she pulls out her swords and swipes at people along the way.
Yeah, don't worry about the damage you're seeing right now because they're in a creator mode. So these
she's a
numbers mean
hunter.
absolutely
She
nothing,
doesn't just
dude.
use a bow.
We're gonna have to
Yeah, we
really
talked about
see
it
her
as well with the
in game
weapons
to really
and
get a
animation,
feel
like,
for her
just as
damage
usual, like massive
with
kudos to the
items,
team's
right?
animations,
Oh,
teams,
so
effects.
nice.
So don't
Sound
the
effects
damage
also
she's
did
doing
some
right
new
now.
tech.
Don't worry about it.
Yes, you're right.
I was
Don't
about
get
to
it.
say that, yeah, actually.
Just
so
look
we
at the
have,
mechanics of it.
stereo with the abilities, which is kind of a new thing.
If she goes
It's-
PTS, I'll
there's
have
been
a
lot of
video out
inhibitors
for her
leading up to
probably
being able to employ that
Saturday at the
earlier,
latest
but as
Sunday
always,
if she
our
comes
teams are
out on
iterating
Friday.
and trying new
So we'll
things
see.
and learning new tech.
I'll
and
definitely
our teams
have to
work
check
really
her out.
hard together on this to make those abilities as immersive as possible with stereo sound. So they figured out how to make it work, and this is kind of the first big showcase of that. And we're hoping to see a lot more of that in the future now that we've kind of figured out a way to get in at it. But that's something y'all are going to notice is these abilities are going to sound so clean.
Yeah, definitely. I can say for certain when I've been playing her in our playtests, it sounds so
And that's going to be
different, but in a
the
great way.
crucial
It
thing,
really
right?
makes you feel
How
like you're the
smooth
one performing
do
these
the
actions because
attacks go
you're
out?
hearing it out of both ears.
Can
and,
you do them
slightly
fluently,
different
or is there
depending on that. And
any
even
type
playing
of
against
of
her,
stutter
it's
now?
really easy to tell like when you're in the direct middle of things that are happening or if they're to either side of
Because
you.
I mean,
They've
right now
really
we're
got
in
that
we're in a
directionality nailed
sterile
down. So
environment,
huge
right? They're
shouts
just
to the
showing
audio
us
team for that.
in a sterile environment. It's a
Incredible.
whole
And again,
different
gonna be
animal
so
when you're
excited
in
to
a
see Ishtar hit the game.
online
But,
server,
again, that's not all
one of
there
their
is with
online
Ishtar. Let's
servers
check out,
with
the
other
recolors
people from
now,
all over the
starting with
world, right?
Rose Warrior
So we'll see
Ishtar.
how that works out, man.
Oh, sweet.
That is so good.
I love
Well, they
the art
stun
for all of
only
her skins,
happens
but
if
this
they
one is
hit
just
with,
incredible.
cripple
I just
first.
think that this action pose just really suits her, and that
Oh, I don't know.
expression
I'll have to
too.
read
She
it.
is ferocious.
Oh, she's fierce. Undeniably fierce. And if I'm not wrong, that's like the middle of the backflip arrow shot.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I mean, she
also
looks
kind of a
cool.
flex,
Don't get me
I
wrong.
think.
She just looks
Yeah,
like a
she's
reskin
flexing
Artemis.
on all of us that she can look that good while backflipping.
Right.
I tell you what, her
Absolutely
quiver
incredible.
looks
I
really
love
nice. The
pinks and
artwork on the
purples and
quiver
stuff,
looks really
so
nice.
anytime those are featured in a skin,
And her
I am
bow looks
immediately
awesome.
Like, yep, I like it. It's
Yeah, and the bright silver armor too. That just looks
that's
incredible.
Really cool. I love that, as well as like the silver
That's
bow.
what
Very
they
sweet.
just
Very
showed
awesome.
us, unless
Absolutely
they
love it.
changed anything.
So there's this, obviously. We also
They just
have
changed
the
the color.
Ascended Ishtar, part
It's
of the.
it's just a
2022
reskin.
Now,
patch.
okay,
Okay.
I said I liked the previous art, but I
Long-range
mean, you
basics have
guys.
increased
It's just
projectile
incredible.
speed,
That's so cool.
wonder if the buff.
This kind of pose, like we don't really do these
put on
back
her.
shots very
I
often
don't
where
know.
you see the god from like an angle
Have to
behind
check it
them.
out.
But this just really feels like she is like super into it. She is
behind and below, like she just
Yeah.
slayed you.
Yeah,
Just
see,
protect
this is
someone you
her
on the floor.
after killing you, by the way.
End of team fight, scoff as she walks away and goes to take
It's
the
the
Phoenix or
same
something.
skin.
Like,
They
that's
just
all there is
changed
to
the
it.
colors.
This skin
on
is
it. That's all
incredible
they did.
too, with the like
the same
rosy
skin.
bronzes, and I mean the silver hair. Like, are you
that's
kidding
Oh,
me?
it shimmers. It's
She kills
glorious.
this. Look, I love it.
It's the
And
same
then,
freaking
you know,
skin, dude. They just
after
changed the
this,
colors.
There's only one last place to go, the Masteries. You got to see the Masteries.
Oh, absolutely. And this art too is just
Ooh, look at her
That is
eyes.
so threatening.
phenomenal. I'm blown away by the talent of our art team, and I mean the gold and blue just looks right with her, you know?
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. And again, that is just the expression is there's no fear there. There's just I will win. That's it. Game
Yeah,
over.
she will be winning.
She will be winning.
It looks nice.
I love.
She looks like a
I always love
Valkyrie.
the Mastery skins because I don't know, gold, blue, gold, black. Like those are two of my
Without the
favorite
bow, she look
color
like a
combinations
Valkyrie.
for all of these all of the gods that come
Yeah,
out.
she looks very regal with these colors going on. I love
yeah.
it.
Yeah, the armor just looks so pristine. I love it.
Oh,
Ooh.
oh yeah, oh yeah, that looks real nice.
Especially with how dark her hair is. I don't know. It just really goes. I love it.
The gold pattern on her cloth shawl there, just like that contrast is perfect. So good.
So good. Absolutely perfect.
She has a nice tan.
We're all waiting. We're all
Oh
excited.
yeah,
Breath 'cause we know
there
what's
it
coming up
is.
next.
Knew it was
There it
coming.
is.
Oh yeah.
Even the arrow is
the
like-
arrow.
Even the arrow's
horns are
diamond.
diamond as well.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it's so sweet. This
looks
is
pretty cool.
This is standout for sure.
That looks pretty cool.
It really just like the silver on the other skin was
I
great, right? But
guarantee
this
you,
is
and
diamond.
mark my
Oh, yeah,
words.
this is diamond. I
This
cannot
god
wait. This
right
comes
here,
out
you're gonna
August
see
23rd.
more
Are you
diamonds.
gonna
of this
say what I'm
god
thinking you're gonna
Exactly. I
faster
can't wait
than
for
a lot of the
Wednesday
guys
when
that
Lord
have been
Levin's already got
releasing
the
the last
skin.
few years.
Yeah, so I'm super excited
Guaranteed,
for
dude,
it.
guaranteed.
There's actually one more thing we get to
I
show
would
off,
not be
too.
surprised if we
Why don't look at her
see
defeat
a
screen
diamond
real
one of
quick?
her.
Oh my gosh, this is
within the
phenomenal, you
first
guys.
Oh, we're actually nice.
So again, we go back to the rivalry between Ishtar and Gilgamesh, and here you can see them playing a bunch of games, and she is not happy when
No.
she loses.
She does not take loss lightly. If she gets beaten, it's not like
looks
oh
cool.
man I lost.
Hell
It's
yeah,
like
with
I'm gonna rip you
Gilgamesh.
apart in the next one.
Yeah, you could see her get angrier and angrier, and I just Gilgamesh's face in all of these too. He's like, what did I do wrong?
Yeah, and there's one thing here on the cards. You'll notice those cards might look a little familiar. They're kind of the
Is
T5
Anami's
Izanami
cards?
skin, kind of a play with some of those cards. So on the suits, so absolutely great. Ishtar is incredible. Super excited to see this happen again.
Definitely sounds
August
interesting.
23rd.
I'm not gonna lie,
Literally
dude. Definitely
Tuesday.
sounds
Literally next
interesting.
Literally
That is
Tuesday.
Definitely gonna-
That's
looking forward to
crazy,
testing
you
her out.
guys.
Oh man, that was so much. We went over so much. I mean, I have this entire phone book here that we just went through. It's incredible. I'm super excited that we were able to make it through all of that because there's so much good stuff coming. So again, keep an eye out for more SWC news coming soon because #WorldsWithFans is going down. Keep an eye out for the update coming on Tuesday, which is going to have all of the incredible content, including the Odyssey.
She kind
Hit
of
the
does
buy
has
all
an
if you want
escape though,
literally
because she
20
has that
skins and every other
dash.
cosmetic that comes
Because
out
with that
throughout the
dash,
event.
she only clips
Tell us how the
back if
balance
she
goes. There-
connects.
again,
But if she
so
doesn't
much. I'm
connect,
gonna
it's
go
just
after
like
this
a
and,
Nox
inhale
dash.
deeply
So
for
she does
45
have an
minutes.
escape.
So thank you all so much for hanging out today, and I look forward to seeing y'all on the battleground for all of this new content next Tuesday. Thank you, everyone.
All right, dude. All right, man. So that is the 9.8 update. So yeah, some very interesting stuff to come out of this, dude. All those mage items that got buffed is just craziness. That's just straight up craziness. So that's good though for me because that means that pretty much all of our mage builds that we've had since 9.6, 9.7 for sure are still good. So I mean, they're still usable. In fact, they're better now than ever because they just got buffed. You can build them a lot quicker. So that's really, really cool. Another thing is hunters just got that much stronger, man. You saw the John's Wrath and was that whatever that stick is and all that crap got buffed too. You know what I'm saying? So it should be pretty interesting. Her kit looks very interesting. I'm definitely going to be playing her as soon as she gets live on the PTS. Now I expect her to go live on the PTS on Friday. If I can get my hands on her on Friday, expect to see a breakdown video on her Saturday, late worst case Sunday. So look for that. But yeah, man, good stuff. Good stuff. Definitely is going to be an interesting, but I guarantee you, dude, without a doubt, she's going to come out super OP. and then within the first week or so, they're going to end up nerfing the crap out of her, or at least next week or two afterwards, they're going to end up nerfing her. But I expect her to come out pretty OP, man. But hey, man, what do you guys think? You know, let me know. But yeah, that's going to be it for now. Again, don't forget, we put out videos Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday is going to be a new wall build, right? So that new wall build that I did for it is good. It's still good. So expect to see that on Friday. Again, thanks for everybody that coming out. And UK Paul, hey, man, appreciate those gifted memberships. And for y'all that are just seeing us, man, one, make sure you hit subscribe because, as y'all know, if you're not subscribed to the channel, you're never going to get these gifted memberships. Our channel has been blessed by YouTube. Not every channel has this capability. Our channel has the ability to issue gifted memberships, but you have to opt into it, right? Let me see. Let me see if I can show you how to do this real quick. Since I'm here. So what you do is you come to the channel right here and you hit join, right? Click on that join button, and then you're going to see how you have all the perks and stuff if you want to be a paid member, right? But you see these little dots right here? You click on those dots, and right here where it says gifted settings, right? You click on that, and this is where you turn it on and off right there.